Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. I didn't expect it to do that. I thought it only got to people who were actually talking. But
It was.
But yeah, Cats, go ahead and leave, and you'll just have to watch it normally, I guess, through the link.
Wah, 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 wah.
Alrighty. Oh, fuck. I didn't want to show you what topic we had yet, but I guess you're spoiled now. Get ready. And I know that looks bad, but just here to let you know that it gets worse.
No shit, I already can tell.
Oh man. Anyway, what's going on, dear viewers? This is your gracious host, Kaine Walker, returning once again with another episode of the Monkey Paw, where we document the downfall of mainstream Western entertainment. And I'm joined here by one co-host tonight because our other one ran into some technical difficulties.
Yep,
he will be back.
Savage coming at you.
He will be back. And we have 3 more topics for the week. One of them is actually pretty old, but it was pretty funny, so I wanted to do it anyway. Actually, never mind. It's not that old. It's from the 8th of this month. I thought it was from like fucking way longer ago. Fucking A, these topics, dude. So the main theme that's going to be tying everything together tonight is basically going to be DEI. So yeah, brace yourself for more of that, especially with Stellar Blade coming out tomorrow. People haven't been able to shut up about it. Attractive people is wrong, and the most fringe elements of our society are being highlighted in our media and being treated as what should be regarded as the new normal. And
That's
anyway,
not,
yeah,
and
it's pretty.
That's not unintentional, I'm afraid to say.
I mean, no, of course not. I mean, at this point, you would have to climb Mount Everest to fucking convince us that shit is anything other than intentional at this point. And I don't even care if you call me a conspiracy theorist, because it's not wrong to question things. Ooh.
Yeah, by the way, the CIA invented that phrase to gaslight the domestic citizenry from questioning any of their agendas or any government's agendas.
I mean, I don't really believe that, not because the CIA wouldn't do that. I don't believe it because the phrase conspiracy theorist is just what it is. Like you theorize about something that might be a conspiracy. Like on its face, that's what you're doing. But what has been going on is that's now it's a bad word, and you're a crazy person if you're a conspiracy theorist, when in reality you're just practicing critical thinking.
I mean, technically, Bill Hicks and George Carlin called this phenomenon out back in the 90s and shit. So, fair enough.
We can see this phenomenon throughout history with anything. Like the most popular mainstream with an M opinion. If you go against it, you're deemed crazy or some sort of lunatic. Like
or outright dehumanized in some cases.
Dr. Burned at the stake.
Has a whole archive of that, of using so-called unquote mental illness to quote unquote justify rights of persecution on people. Yeah. It's why he became the anti-psychiatrist.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting, and it's gotten to the point. It's gotten to the point where you're crazy for stating like facts, like scientific facts, like shit you can look up in an actual textbook or just see like with your own eyeballs, just in person.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, more about that in a second here, because this article is going to give us plenty of ammo to open that discussion further. But let me know in the chat if you can see this shit. Oh Lord.
This is really queer in the rear, isn't it? Oy vey. That fucking rhymed.
God. All right. So this is from the Rolling Stone. And it says, the people's Joker is here, queer, and the only viable path forward for superhero movies.
Oh my god, this reminds me of the little skit Lewis Black did in 2000s. Hi, we're here, we're queer, we're here, we're queer. I brought swatches.
It says Vera Drew's transgender take on the Batman villain's mythology isn't just brutally hilarious, relentlessly inventive, and profoundly moving. It's also
it's so funny. Laugh at us. No, that's the laughing. The humor is the fucking meta irony of all this shit.
It's also a lifeline for the genre. Okay.
Folks, if my soul has an asshole, it's probably bleeding right now. Oh my god. I'm cringing so bad from this shit.
We were supposed to get our first trans Joker 35 years ago. In 1989, DC Comics published Arkham Asylum, a serious house on serious Earth, a narrative exploration of Batman's psychological problems, as well as those of his foes. Its scribe was an up-and-coming Scot by the name of Grant Morrison, and Morrison, who would later come out as non-binary, cross-dressing, genderqueer, wanted to show the clown prince of crime in women's clothing. The Joker was to have been dressed in the canonical bra worn by Madonna for her Open Your Heart video. Morrison wrote in their nonfiction book of super gods. However, DC had a corporate parent and it had been none too happy with the initial script. Warner Bros. Objected to my portrayal on the grounds that it would encourage the widespread belief that Jack Nicholson, the feted actor, lined up to play the Joker in an upcoming $40 million Batman movie, was I don't know if I can say that word on this stream. I'm not gonna read it, but yeah, I'm gonna highlight it for you guys right there. I'm just gonna say it was a trans woman or something. Yeah, that was a T.
Andrew Dice Clay would call that trans testicle for the memery because he was known for that. But yeah,
that's funny.
Oh, he was a fucking riot. That being a riot is what got him fucking yeeted from MTV. I'll never forget the fucking nursery rhyme he did that got him banned, and it was Georgie Porgy pudding and pie shot one off in his girlfriend's eye.
I just don't get why that word is so offensive, because if you look at it etymologically, trans, from one to another, and then vestments are clothing, but it means a change of clothing, but whatever.
Right. Well,
but with context, obviously, it's talking about cross-dressing.
Right.
Warner's was so outraged that it had threatened to cancel the comic entirely. Ultimately, Morrison compromised. God, I need more to drink. Excuse me. And was allowed to have, no pun intended, because of this article, to have artist Dave McKean briefly depict Joker in high heels, but that was it. 3.5. Go ahead.
I could puff a fucking. I wish I had a foot-long joint for this shit. God damn.
3.5 decades later, precious little has changed on the corporate side as a classic queer-coded villain. A trickster and shapeshifter, there's always something inherently ambiguous about the Joker's gender.
This is unironic, pseudo-historic revisionism by the mainstream.
But
us call this shit out. Where the revisionists all call fucking oof me off this planet.
The people's Joker. Wow.
This is the people's Joker. This is commie rhetoric shit. The fucking.
We catch glimpses. Heath Ledger's iconic scene in Nurse Drag in 2008's The Dark Knight, or Mark Hamill's Joker, coyly flashing a cute pair of pumps and a shapely stocking-clad calf in a 1997 episode of the cartoon. One second. So is cross-dressing and drag just now inherently the same thing? It's just used interchangeably? Because they both have very different contexts.
Apparently,
but is that what we're doing now?
From what I'm seeing here, apparently those two are lumped in with the Truny Toonery shit. Let's lump it all together. Let's all try to subvert each other now, because we're gonna fucking hypocrisy schizo spiral that makes Terry A. Davis look like fucking nothing. Oy. the jokes just write their fucking selves.
They do. They really do. Fuck. How long is this trailer? How long is this trailer? Like, we might as well watch it. It's a minute.
Oh fuck.
Oh, and before we play this trailer, I made something specifically for when we show other content. This is fair use. Do not copyright strike this segment. It would be unfair and unjust.
And it would be your cunts if you do. Get fucked if you do.
Oh yeah, that too. For sure.
Okay. I want to say get MacArthur, but that's a little too far.
You gotta let me know what that's referring to later. Just not now.
I would gladly.
Gotham City is nothing but neon biker gangs, leather freaks, and cross-dressers. Is that what you want? Come home.
No, I won't, Mom. I'm gonna be a comedian. When I look back on my life before going jokeman to harlequin, so to speak, I wasn't even sure I existed. It's like blurry, cracked mosaic of all these gender revelations. You mean she's a he?
I'm trans.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry.
Let me get this fucking straight, man. You can show a guy comically committing Sudoku on YouTube. You know what? We're just gonna no. I said that on purpose for.
Oh.
You think I'm that stupid?
Okay,
that's not even.
No, you're not. I know that, but
that's not even.
Sorry, my brain and mind both shut the fuck down while this is playing. Sorry, it's just kicking back on for a moment.
He's not even
that Spurg superpower we have. Shuts down.
Psychiatrists would call it autistic thinking. Not a joke.
Unironically,
not a joke.
We just shut it off. We can't take something so much. We just shut down.
Yeah, I was just gonna skip past that because I could go on a rant, but I'm just gonna play the trailer and continue.
I was fairly certain I was in love, and I was so afraid of that feeling going away.
Ah, but you should be afraid.
I just want my happy little boy back. I just don't feel like.
Wait a minute. From the cis and twisted mind of Verge, what? Whatever. Let me just.
My happy little boy back. I just don't feel like a boy.
You're not. Boy, I've.
Cis is a slur.
Developed.
Happy little boy back. I just don't feel like a boy.
You're not. Boy, I've developed an experimental treatment. You'll be Mama's happy little boy.
Also comes in rainbow for pride.
It was foretold that someday a clown would rise.
Sounds pretentious.
It is.
Whatever you say, Mr. J.
Hunka hunka.
Now you must journey inside yourself.
I'm not a hero, and I'm not a villain either.
I physically can't.
So
I
who
just
are
fucking
you?
cannot.
I'm a woman of my word.
I just cannot.
I thought clowns were supposed to be funny.
Well, guys, my since that's over, I turned my brain
Wow.
I'm not shut down now. Now I'm starting back to fuck up again, and I'm just thinking about the best fucking ice cream I ever made.
Lucky for us then that there's a trans, I don't know how to pronounce that word, auteur who was willing to spring the Joker from the prison of canon. The prison of canon. Oh boy. Let's talk about this for a second. How working within the confines of established lore and canon is a fucking inconvenience for these ideologues. Yep, we could have a whole segment on that. They do it with everything. They recently did it with the Fallout show, which I will be doing a live watch of soon and releasing a review for. It's gonna happen. I have to. And it's happened with everything that you've seen decay over the past decade. So like, the prison of canon, that's a new one. I gotta do something with that phrase specifically. Just to be brief anyway. We're gonna move on. From the prison of canon and send the character on an idol killing spree. Vera Drew's The People's Joker, about a trans feminine version of the murderous jester, is brutally hilarious, relentlessly inventive, profoundly moving, stunning and brave, and most improbably of all, deeply empathic.
Yeah, they wouldn't know empathy if empathy beat the shit out of them till their skulls were popped open. For fuck's sake. They wouldn't know what empathy was. The left are literal narcissism factories. What the fuck are they talking about?
There's a line in playwright Mary Zimmerman's adaptation of Ovid's Metamorphoses. Dreams are private myths, and myths are public dreams. Unlike the increasingly anodyne and sterile offerings from the DC and Marvel superhero factories, Drew's film exploits the conventions of the genre to at once make pop culture feel strange to us again and make a personal trans narrative feel familiar and even universal. I have several reservations with that, or several doubts that is even half true. Universal.
No,
how is this universal when you literally show in the trailer that there is a fucking, at the time, young boy who feels like he's not a boy? Like, how is that universal? Wow. Whatever.
You know, there were some studies out there that kind of cemented the obvious. Like, oh wait, there's no trans kids. What a shock!
I don't even know why that's controversial. Why is that controversial?
It is if you're one of those Truny Tunes. It is. They can't groom kids into their little. I better not finish that sentence. That will probably get you flagged, but I won't. But you know. They can't do those things to them. They can't try justifying and gaslighting. So
thank you for your restraint. I'm not joking. Thanks.
You're welcome. I know I have to show it, but God, it's such a fucking bitch.
Oh no, it's horrible. The film is not an authorized take on superhero fiction. Drew made her guerrilla production without any consent form from Warner Bros. And received a rebuke from them right after it had a single screening at 2022's Toronto International Film Festival, leading her to pull the film from the fest. It's now finally seeing the light of day on the uncertain legal ground of parody, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. Its limited release debut in theaters this past weekend broke several cinema barriers. Never before has a trans character been the lead in a superhero feature. Who fucking cares? Never has a trans person directed, written, or starred in a cape and cowl flick, much less all. This is why shit is so bad. Like, who cares? Who cares, bro? I don't care if a potato wrote the film. Is it watchable? Like what the fuck? They focus on such superficial bullshit. Like, it's so stupid. Anyway, despite being made on a lunch money budget during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, the film has presented the world with the only viable path forward for superhero cinema. What? How did they reach this conclusion, by the way? The only path forward. The only path forward for superhero cinema is ideology and LGBTQ representation, because that worked so well for the fucking Eternals.
Yeah, that worked so well. Trying to push Gail Rubin groomer shit already. Worked so fucking well at that. Oh God!
No data supports this claim, and I'm not even that kind of guy. I'm not a data guy. Like, I'm not someone who's hounding people for sources. Like, if you can prove your point just with basic logic and help me see it, like, I'm usually fine. But like, if you look at sales numbers for movies that have LGBTQ representation, and it beats you the fuck over the head with it, by the way, they don't do very well.
Oh, by the way, I linked this in a couple of other places I'm in, and another one of our boys, Babs, just joined the chat.
Oh yeah, we got 7 viewers. Thanks guys for joining. Please consider subscribing. I'll read comments here in a second, but I do want to get I want to get a little bit further into the article just to see how far we can go down this depraved rabbit hole.
And depraved's an understatement. It's I got a 50 Shades analogy, but again, I might have to show restraint for that one because
Please.
Al Gore's rhythms and more.
Continuing on, it says if the hoary genre is to survive on screen, it has to get braver, more personal, and a whole lot queerer. See? I do it.
Oh my God.
It began as a
we're queer shit, just right out in the, more of that.
It began
I swear to God.
It began as a goofy experiment. Drew, a longtime video editor and comedian, wanted to remix footage from Todd Phillips' hopelessly cynical and unfortunately award-winning 2019 DC flick Joker. Her film could have easily become a mere parody of self-serious superhero cinema, but it evolved into something much more beautiful and unprecedented. Whatever. Imagine thinking it's a bad thing. Imagine thinking it's a bad thing that a movie as profound as Joker won a fucking award, right? Like, why is it a bad thing? Like, the movie highlighted a lot of issues about being someone who's marginalized in society and not being able to get help. And because you're not able to get help, you actually turn into a fucking villain because everyone treats you like shit and no one actually takes you seriously. In fact, many people take advantage of you and they treat you like the scum of the earth. Like, that fucking movie highlighted so many issues about mental health. Like,
that it was what makes it actually a genuinely interesting film, right? All those issues and so many others that it actually touches upon. Isn't that the one where the whole quote, "We live in a society," satire, sarcasm takes from?
Yeah, you get what you fucking deserve. Yeah, I mean, well, Seinfeld started the "We live in a society" thing first with George Costanza, but then it got brought back up in the Joker film, and then "You get what you fucking deserve" is like, it's probably the second most famous quote from that film, because that's what it is. Like, whenever you see these companies put out this fucking garbage and then they lose billions or millions of dollars, you get what you fucking deserve.
Right.
Now you get what you fucking deserve. You deserve failure for not giving the customer what they want.
But that's what happens when you collectivize the property rights through an entity. I've said this before, the corporation. So you got to cater to politicians, bureaucrats, fuckers that co-run the corporation, stakeholders and shareholders. And the whole. My stakeholder fapinoistism of Klaus Schwab's fucking literally what this shit is, and it's not even capitalism is the psyop use of the term instead of what it really means. Of course, that's by design. That's what this corporate shit is. It's state socialist cancer. The leftists and ANCAPs that defend the shit would love to screech at me.
At the very least, it's
it leads to shit like this inevitably. Like I got a couple buddies over in Eastern Europe that like work in accounting for the government. If one of them, if he ever saw this, hey Thelma, hope you're doing all right when you see this. And he just got more pissed off, more pissed the fuck off. and he just sees the same shit I have.
Yeah. I don't want to do this because I never do, but I have to go to the restroom. Damn it.
Well, I'll start reading comments while you're going letting Thunder Dick out to take a piss.
Oh God, why did you say? I'll be right back.
Make it run on them hoes. While he's going to let the kids out to the pool, let's read some fucking comments. TNT draft day. Let's go. Let's go Saints and Chicago. Laughing at these two. Oh, thank you so much, sweetheart. This is peak LOL. Thanks, you're a gem. Cats. Draft day's more exciting than this. Yeah. We're just cringing off the fucking earth. Rudy Smith. Of course, it's LGBT queer shit at the moment I clicked at this. For real. Back when cross-dressing was the most shocking thing. I think you misworded yourself a little there when you typed with instead of was. Oofy. Exchanges between Toaster and Rudy. I'm not going to read all that. Oh yeah, there's a warning from Rudy saying you're gonna slip up, and there's gonna be some innocuous stock footage they're gonna use to claim your video from. Claim your video from and take it down.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm back. Probably. He's probably right.
Toaster, yes. He said autistic gang. Kaine wouldn't understand.
Oh God!
Rudy just said that trailer makes me want to shoot myself with a person.
Babs. Thanks, Biden. What the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, Babs is a fucking character to say the least.
Oh, did you already read this comment about Cruella being the next Joker?
Christ. East is the tisticist. Fucking. Oh,
Yo.
Christ.
Did you hear did you already read this comment about Cruella being the next Joker?
Oh, God, no. Remember when Cruella was supposed to be the next Joker? They're trying to milk it so hard without understanding why Joker 2019 worked in the first place. Yeah, we get it, cats. Absolutely.
It addressed a real issue.
He's not my twin. I think we're a good couple decades apart.
God.
Wes is statisticist. Fucking Christ.
I think we got most of the comments that we're referring to.
Bitch. Learn to fucking spell.
I think we got most of the comments that were referring to the article. Let's wrap it up. There's only a little bit left, so
yeah, let's go ahead.
Since
you let the river out.
Oh yeah, I've never felt more relieved. Okay, so the movie was largely shot in 5 days, withdrew in small coterie. What is this word? Coterie. Withdrew in a small coterie of mostly unknown actors performing in front of a green screen. After that, Drew hired more than 100 animators and video artists with very different styles to bring the footage and audio to life. That sounds like a lot of chefs in the kitchen. 100 animators with different styles? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It sounds like the what was it? The Worst Cooks in America series, but trying to be serious with that.
It sounds like, overspiced. Go ahead.
Yeah, overspiced, over AIDS riddled. Yeah, that's a whole sounds like a shit show and a half.
It is somehow overcooked and undercooked at the same time. Anyway, the result.
If you eat that, you're getting AIDS. Anyhow,
the result is a movie that, unlike most big budget Marvel or DC pictures, actually makes a virtue of computer generated imagery rather than merely using it as a crutch. Whatever that means. There is no attempt to convey realism. Instead, the live-action performers are placed into a surreal clash of images and aesthetics. I don't think they understand why that doesn't sound good.
No, like I said,
you don't want your aesthetics to clash. Like in fashion, when two things are clashing, that's a bad thing. That means that they're both fighting for your eye's attention instead of complimenting each other.
Cancel each other out.
It makes your outfit very loud and fucking painful to look at, actually, because the colors themselves are offensive to the eye. It's hard to explain unless you've seen some shit that's really bright or some color that just like feels like you're having a laser shine into your eyeball. But yeah, like there's just some things that don't go well together and they look horrible, but they think that's a good thing for some reason.
Like if you wear a rainbow strap on in public for some fucked up reason on top of your clothes.
Of all the things you could have said, like why?
Well, too late, Babs. I'm an Apache attack helicopter.
The Gotham City in which this Joker finds herself is one that actually possesses the bold colors and eerie exaggerations of a great superhero comic. Oh boy, that sounds like Gotham City. While never exactly trying to visually emulate one. Similarly, it's a superhero story that's not a superhero story. It's closer to Todd Haynes' Superstar than Superman, more like the trans cult classic Vegas in Space than Guardians of the Galaxy. The core narrative is an autobiographical journey based on Drew's own queer coming of age and coming of rage while being raised male in the Midwest. Joker, whose dead name is always bleeped out except for two intentionally jarring exceptions. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Babs, if you're trans vegan, I'm trans non-autistic.
Sees Batman Forever in grade school, longs to become Nicole Kidman's character, and wonders if she's a girl trapped in a little boy's body. Her emotionally abusive mother sends her to conversion therapy, in this case at the hands of Batman villain Scarecrow. The scene in which both mother and doctor berate the child, leading the child to tell her mom, "I promise I'll never even tell you if I'm sad," is more terrifying and viscerally upsetting than anything I've ever seen in a Batman movie before. Joker grows up and, now played by Drew, makes her way to Gotham against her parents' wishes with the dream of getting into comedy. Unlucky for her, comedy has been all but outlawed, with the only licensed supplier being the United Clown Bureau, a truly vicious parody of both the real-life comedy incubator Upright Citizens Brigade as well as Saturday Night Live. Proto-Joker, not quite able to get laughs, goes underground to do edgy anti-comedy in a warehouse with a group of other defamiliarized Batman villains. The Penguin, whose parents cut off his allowance after he changed his college major to think pieces. Poison Ivy, they them pronouns please. The Riddler, he's launching an app called RDDLR and so on. That's probably a reference to Tumblr. Joker starts doing a drag act in face paint and girly outfits, not quite understanding why she's drawn to it. But the turning point of the film and its emotional core comes when she meets her first love, a trans man who looks an awful lot like Jared Leto's Joker and goes by the name Mr. J. Of course, love between two Jokers is never bound to go well.
Yeah, I wonder fucking why in this context can't possibly be the fucking horrid writing. And by the way, Toast, no, you don't want to get rid of it. It's one of your protective shields from femoids.
How the fuck do you how do you outlaw comedy? Like comedy
like
has to
killing
be
everyone. on. By just killing everyone. That's how you do it. Genocide's how you outlaw comedy.
Comedy is like one of the most meritocratic fields you could ever enter into, like
which is what makes it
like,
inherently
you're either funny or you're not. Like that's just like this premise is horrible. Like it's just garbage.
It's literally it's like it's anti-comedic by it's almost if it's like by design.
Boy. The fallout of that relationship, combined with the ongoing transphobia of both Gotham at large and Joker's mother in particular, is what leads this woman to turn on society and embrace her true self. As any trans person can tell you, such Jokerification is all too understandable. Why do I get the feeling this grossly dilutes the point of the original Joker with Joaquin Phoenix? Like
because it does.
This shit comes across as extremely fucking tone deaf. And this is fun, and that's saying something because they're attempting to highlight their own life experience with this film. Think about what that means. Like, not only do they shit on the film by saying that unfortunately it won an award, but they try to fucking swagger jacket at the same time. Like, how do you do that? You shit on it, but you try to bite it at the same time. That doesn't make any sense. And then they do it worse. Like, how? Like, there's nothing forcing me to feel sympathetic for the character really either. I don't know what. But then again, I guess we haven't seen this movie, and I'm not gonna see this shit. It's not gonna happen.
I'd rather use a battery operated fillet knife as an ass plug substitute and making sure it's turned on.
Wow, you really had to dig for that one, huh?
Yep, real deep into the depths of what's left of my soul, what little is there that's unscarred. Okay.
And
not as scarred, I meant to say, but yes.
And yet, without spoiling the ending, because we can't have that, the People's Joker does not fall into the trap of cynicism that so plagued Phillips' Joker. Drew is a humanist, and her film ends on a courageous, urgent, and musical note of hard-earned hope. I don't think they understand tragedy, because his descent from being a victim to being an aggressor was meant to be tragic. Like, it's not cynical, because tragedy highlights that it's bad. It's not to be expected. It's abnormal. It's the path you shouldn't go down. Like, cynicism expects the worst. And cynicism is not necessarily even anti-optimism either. It just expects the worst. Like, just because you expect the worst doesn't mean you can't hope for the best. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just kind of smart to do. Like, if you expect the worst, you're essentially always prepared. And if anything that happens short of the worst outcome, well, I mean, you essentially won. You win every time because you overplan. You never get your hopes too high. Like, it's just, yeah, this is a huge misread of that movie. Like, whatever. It's
also a misread of the entirety of the original Joker too. Regardless whether it's
what original Joker? Oh, Joaquin Phoenix? No. I mean, Heath Ledger's.
No, the character itself, just character.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I feel you.
Like,
yeah, he's a tragic character. Yeah,
especially the New Earth and animated series versus Joker. They're especially the more tragic one. Jack Nicholson from the Jack Nicholson's portrayal from the Michael Keaton and Tim Burton movies, not the first one anyway, not so much. Earth 2, the OG Joker from Earth 2 in the original multiverse? No, I'm not so sure how tragic or not. Yeah, Babs, I know it was straight up feminist propaganda, and fucking, I lost a little respect for Bill Murray even appearing in that one.
Okay, we don't have very much of this left either.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Yeah, it said, where was I? Drew is a humanist, and her film ends on a courageous, urgent, and musical note of hard-earned hope. I, a 38-year-old trans woman, watched the film twice. First with my 17-year-old gender fluid nibbling, then with my 46-year-old genderqueer spouse. Both times as the credits rolled, everyone concluded that it was probably the best superhero film ever made. Take that for what you will. I'll take it for nothing. The superhero boom is busting. Marvel and DC Pictures aren't making what they used to at the box office. Reviews are generally abysmal, and fan enthusiasm is at an ebb. And you think this'll fix it? Have they actually asked themselves why that is? Because what they're doing is one of the symptoms. Like, why do they have it in their head that this will help? This is going to fix the superhero movie genre. Like, first of all, I think it's time for that shit to get a break. It was time for that shit to get a break after Endgame. Like, it was time. Like, just give it a fucking another 7 to 10 year break and put some other shit at the forefront. Like, anything. It was time for it to stop. Like, but whatever. If Disney and Warner Brothers could somehow look, hang on, I think I skipped something. Oh yeah, meanwhile, the geeky viewing public keeps getting queerer and more trans with every new generation. If Disney and Warner Bros. Could somehow look farther ahead than their next quarterly earnings report, they'd see that superhero fiction is fundamentally queer. Well, do I need to explain that it's not? I don't think I have to. Like, it's not. It literally isn't. What the fuck?
I fucking hate it. I just fucking hate it.
Oh Lord, we're not even gonna debate that point because there isn't one. From its go ahead.
Why debate about the non-existence of something?
Yeah, there's no point. From its very beginnings, nearly a century ago, the genre has been steeped in motifs that resonate with queer people.
No, that's you guys fucking reaching because you're too late. You want to make shit you like yours instead of make your own stuff. Eisegesis.
You know, this is kind of the double-edged sword that comes along with ambiguity in universal messaging, like actual universal messaging, that a lot of the best ones allow you to interpret things however you want, because the logic that's being applied to the context in the story can be applied anywhere else, which is what makes it universal. But the bad side is that the edge that points towards us is that you get people like this who read the most outlandish interpretations possible and claim that it has always been this way when it fucking hasn't. What you're meant... Go ahead.
Keyword here. Psychosis!
Right, like that's definitely what it is, or one form of mental illness at least, you know? Like, because what you're supposed to do as a kid reading the comic book is take it at face value. That's what you're supposed to do, because you're not experienced enough with life yet to extrapolate the logic or the concept that's being portrayed on the page. Like, it's supposed to be taken literally, right? But obviously, as you get older, you see parallels between what happens in the X-Men with the mutants and their persecution and the Superhuman and Super Mutant Registration Act and slavery, or, you know, Salem witch trials, or political prisoners, or anything like that. Like, it can be extrapolated to any other form of persecution. But like, for them to say, but that's the thing, right? It's not, it hasn't always been any one way. It's always been able to be interpreted in multiple different ways. But you get people like this who want to justify the most narrow identitarian worldviews using the most broad lens for it. It doesn't make any sense. They're using that as a justification for somehow comics and superheroes always being queer when that was never the case. But whatever.
Yeah, this is reaching. It's just severe reaching.
Yeah, look at the reasons why they say it's always been queer. Hidden identities, strange awakenings, exclusion from normal society, colorful costumes, thrilling secret powers, and so on. So I guess being gay or trans is a superpower. Whatever. If the corporate storytellers knew what was good for them, they wouldn't be marginalizing films like The People's Joker. They'd be investing in them. No, they wouldn't.
No, they grift off this shit because the stakeholders and shareholders and political busybody bridges that they get all their artificial kickbacks that are extortion. I mean, taxation paid loopholes and all that. But it's funded by extortion. I mean, taxes.
And yet you repeat yourself. Oh man, it's just tiring, man. Let's just wrap it up. I think we're at the bottom now. It says there's a word from Grant Morrison applied to the Joker in their Arkham Asylum story, Super Sanity. A psychiatrist who has treated the homicidal clown concludes that he isn't insane. In fact, he's more attuned to reality and its details than you or I. Isn't that what they all think? He seems to have no control over the sensory information he's receiving from the outside world, the doctor says. He can only cope with that chaotic barrage of input by going with the flow. Drew chose to name-check Morrison's super sanity concept multiple times, and with good cause. The People's Joker is a super sane film. I don't know if they realize what they've done by using that unironically, but all right. The movie, like any trans person coming out of the closet, opens itself up to the complete madness of contemporary life and cannot justify any of it. But this super villainous knows that watching the world burn isn't the fun part of being the Joker. The magnificent, liberating aspect of the character is, as the doctor in Morrison's book puts it, the fact the Joker creates himself each day, or herself as the case may be. We should all be so lucky as to have that chance at transformation, transgression, and transcendence.
There's a lot of tranny shit wording all over the place, isn't there? Conk.
I can't believe they decided to call... They actually used the label Super Sane. That's funny.
The amount of it's so ironic, it's beyond irony. Like I said before, meta ironic.
Yeah, so Super Sanity is a cope. It's a massive fucking cope. Like it's
also called hypersanity as well, and some schizo theorists and philosophy talk about it. Mention it in certain combos. It's the biggest cope to try to quote unquote justify the worst kinds of psychosis out there.
Yeah, but there's a catch-22 though. Here's why it's so fucked up, because telling the truth and being crazy aren't that much different. That's why it's so fucking nerve-wracking.
That's why it's such a deadly fucking thing.
Yeah, telling the truth, being a genius, and being insane are not that far apart. That's why it's so fucked up. Like, the lines get very blurred.
You could still be sane as a genius, but you can get in touch with the dark side. And, there's another ultimate, purpose behind, the character in Elder Scrolls, Sheol-Gorath. He's called the god of madness, but he's also the god of creativity. Because you need to be able to scratch the surface of madness to invoke creativity to some extent, they always say.
Well, the reason why they say that is because being a visionary and hallucinating involve the same process, and that is seeing things that aren't there.
Sadly.
One's
a psychosis,
Jesus
and
Christ.
one is trying to come up with something to create, which is fucking wild.
Yeah, it's fucking A. Anyone have any comments for this shit? Because I'm still trying to gather my thoughts about what I think about this article. And I know I've conveyed plenty of what I thought during it, but like I always like to give a summation of what we've just read, and it just mind fucked me, man. Like it's so like they huff their own farts so hard, dude. Like it's ridiculous.
No, they don't huff their own farts. They formed a giant human centipede, and then it formed into a circle.
Truly a movie of all time.
And the mind fuck levels, I would have to say, are 50 Shades of Mind Rape.
Pretty much. I feel like I just got hit with a psychic attack. I have fucking brain worms.
Well, as long as they're not the tapeworms that play peek-a-poo with your asshole and then drill holes in your brain, that as long as they ain't those, I guess you're good.
You're a wild boy, Wes. Like. We smelling farts with this one. My inner dialogue is unreal. They all are hilarious, bro. Like, man.
Babs is a fucking character. He and I make chaos in fucking Bartcase Discord when we're in there.
There's not much more to say about that article, man. It's just they're gonna continue to
shut up, Babs. Shut up.
They're gonna continue to hollow out your favorite hobbies and wear their skins as a fucking trophy while saying it's always been this way. The same thing has been happening to like the female custodian things in Warhammer, which I wanted to cover, but I wasn't able to grab an article in time. You know what? I'll probably do that for the solo episode I have planned for Monday because I have to pick a day. I have to pick a day for the solo shows, and I'm just probably going to have to eat shit and have it be Monday, even though I don't want anything ever to be on Monday, but fuck it. It's the best day. I have the
as long as it's not 2 girls, 1 finger levels of eating shit, hopefully you'll survive.
How do you say these things, Wes? Like...
And folks, that was worse than 2 girls, 1 cup, and I didn't sleep for days. Welcome to my head trauma.
God. Anyway, the next article we have up for tonight is going to be from Niche Gamer, and it's about the Pokemon Go update that turned every character into an Ugmo. I don't know what it is with gaming and wanting to make everything ugly, but it's seen an increase since people have been noticing it more and more, because that's what they do. The more you notice, the more they do it. It's kind of annoying. They're going to continue to lose money, continue to completely diminish their player bases. And if you're someone who plays Pokemon Go, you shouldn't play it anymore because...
What the fuck even is that? Does that mean, Toast? What the fuck does that mean? Oh, God.
They're going
hey, she asked me, what about 2 ice creams, 1 spoon? What the fuck does that mean?
Sounds pretty literal to me, but I'm not going to dig any deeper.
Let's not, because we could be going down something worse than pancocky puns for pancakes.
Oh, that was funny. I don't care what no one says. Anyway.
Well, I know, but still.
Fans of the mobile game Pokemon Go are angry after Niantic, I'm going to butcher some names, decided to update the player models, which the game has been using since launch. The new avatars were intended to provide players with more customization options beyond hairstyles and clothes. Traditionally, Pokemon Go players chose one of 2 body types, hair color, skin color, and players were seemingly satisfied with just that thanks to the dozens of clothing options available. Oh, the tweet from Pokemon Go official. Trainers, your avatar can now look even more like you. I don't think they realized that was... I don't think they realized...
Here's more reason for me to make a suicide effort and pretend and just by playing Pokemon Go and highway traffic.
Jesus, your avatar can look even more. I don't think they realize how insulting they were being with that. Cause like you can see the chick on the left clearly has breasts even from the side here. And that's a dude, right? That's a guy right there. Like, we're excited to announce that new avatar customization options are now live in Pokemon Go. Rediscover Go, hashtag Rediscover Go, hashtag Pokemon Go. And they have been getting ratioed to oblivion with this new update. No one likes this shit. These new avatars, go ahead.
Yeah, we know, Mr. Chick. Remember, anime titties are only temporary. Allah is eternal.
God. These new avatars have customizable proportions with new options for weight, muscles, shoulders, chest, and hips. However, the update also changed the basic proportions for the characters as well as their faces, turning cute characters into weird blobs. I would add gray to that string of words there. So, tweet here from Lutu. Literally every Pokemon Go post over the last 24 hours has felt like a fucking funeral. This shit is unreal, man. And it's just a string of people's characters. Oh, I didn't want to open Twitter. Let me see if I can open this. Open image, a new tab. It's a string of people's characters. That's kind of a bad example because I can barely see anything under the jacket. But let's see if we can get anything else. Tyranitar is a great choice, though. But this one's a good one. Open image, a new tab.
Pokemon Glow.
Yeah, so like every avatar basically looks like this, especially if they're a chick. The chicks have been getting it the absolute fucking worst, dude. Like clearly this chick on the left is like fair skinned, thin, and has like breast and hips, and on the right is just a refrigerator with a tan. Like
what the fuck? Yeah.
Why, yeah, that's every update that's been going on with people's characters, man.
That's probably infuriating. This is probably why you're better off probably playing some other game or just playing a console Pokemon or hell, playing a hentai game would be more constructive than this. At least you get something out of it.
Lord. Oh yeah, I just said this. It says many of the complaints are coming from women who play the game that prefer their curvy avatar as opposed to this weird, lanky, gangly character they've been given in its stead. Surely Niantic could have kept the originals and just added more customization options like any normal, sane company would do. To give you the option to change your character. No, they're just gonna they're gonna give you what they think you should have instead of what you ask for. Yeah, like any good fucking company.
They're basically tell you to take. We're
gonna make you like it.
Dragging up your ass while you sleep and tell you you're gonna like it because we'll make you. That's what they're doing basically with gaming.
Rather than downgrade the base model. Yep. So,
God damn it, Babs. Pokemon Feuda.
There's actually some good ideas in the update that are absolutely spoiled by the uglier base models. Hairstyles are now easier to search through. There's new color options for skin tones, eyes, and hair, and the variable body proportions would probably be well received if there were adjustments to the base model. This isn't the first time that Niantic has made a questionable decision that angered fans. Last year, they raised the price of promote raid passes to try and capitalize on the popularity of joining friends, possibly on the other side of the country. These became especially popular during the COVID-19 pandemic. Shortly after these changes were made, the game's player base hit a 5-year low, as it should have. I hope it goes lower. Undoing the bump in popularity it got during lockdown. If angry tweets below the announcement are anything to go by, Pokemon Go might manage to hit an all-time low. Yep.
I hope so. And you know
that's
what's crazy,
that's what you get for pissing off your player base, man. Anyone who's trying to make content and like promote a product or a service, don't do what any of these companies are doing. Like give people what they ask for, and if they didn't ask for it, don't fucking do it. Why change the formula?
Basically, just try to avoid corporatization, and if you can't, minimize stakeholder and shareholder power and own as much of it as you possibly can, so you can actually satisfy your customer base and not have those cocksuckers parasitizing off you to cater to. That's basically the real advice here that addresses everything down to the core.
Yeah, so like exactly. So like why fix what isn't broken? They literally gained a fucking new player base during the pandemic doing absolutely nothing, yet for some reason they think that changing everyone's characters would please everyone, especially if it was just completely unattractive, malformed versions of what everyone was already attached to. Like, I don't see, how did this get greenlit? Like, did anyone check, or did everyone just nod and smile in the fucking meeting room? You know what I mean?
Okay, masters, okay, stakeholder masters, don't whip me no more.
I need my DEI bucks. Like, whatever. Just insane, dude.
But Babs, you can never do that impersonation, right?
That's all, folks.
We might actually have some time for a couple other articles. This might actually only go for an hour and a half because this article here was pretty short, but essentially it's all been about DEI and people, rewriting lore and the hatred of beautiful women and representation where we don't need it and all this other garbage.
All this other cancer. Yeah, I get you. What is wrong with traditionally beautiful men, women, characters that are actually capable? Like what's wrong with that? What the fuck's wrong with just any of that, or finding beauty in the unconventional? What's wrong with those two things? Especially the second one, that all those worked. What's wrong with that? I don't fucking know.
I mean, it's because of the male gaze fucking narrative that's being parroted. Like, they don't like men to enjoy anything, especially not pretty women.
Apparently, men looking at you is the same as having a rape face like Landon Moss when he did at the punchline of that little Vine clip he did where he said, what was it about playing Twister? His sisters call him Chris Bosch. And the rape face he did at the end. Apparently, that's the same thing. Guys enjoying themselves the same thing. Christ, on a unicycle. I used to have that as my desktop background. I had to give me a good morning chuckle when I'd look at my screen. I got it somewhere on my computer, speaking of which.
In other news, from Games Radar, Stellar Blade puts Eve in some incredibly stupid, sexy outfits that hurt the game's story. But despite the forced sex appeal, I actually love her detailed design. See, what the fuck is forced sex appeal? What does that mean? Like, they need to start defining this shit if they're gonna use it.
They're not gonna. They're gonna play some anti-Semitic jargon shit and fucking gaslight if you see through it and see. That's retarded.
I mean, here's the thing with people who decry semantics every time they enter a debate. Words have meaning. Some words have multiple meanings. Yeah, no, they say semantics to be dismissive, but it's like, but words have fucking meaning.
Semantics in and of itself on fucking peak oy vey shit. God.
Like, especially if we're talking about philosophical discussions, which this clearly is because it's ideological, you have to define what that shit means. Like, so saying forced sex appeal implies that it's wrong. Like, why is it wrong to have a beautiful woman be a protagonist in a game?
That's why? Like, how do you think Lara Croft was so successful? Why do you think Samus Aran was successful? Why do you think Kasumi?
They hate when you talk. They hate Samus especially because here's the things. Before the face reveal of Samus Aran, everyone thought it was a guy, and what people were expecting, feminists in particular around that time, is that if it was a woman, if we had games with women in it, you wouldn't even like it, which was already bullshit because there was plenty of women in video games anyway. But when they revealed Samus, Metroid got bought even more. Like, what the fuck?
Fucking changed the whole fucking playing field. And this was revealed at the end of both Metroid and Metroid 2 when you completed the game 100% in a certain timing. Like, for fuck's sakes, and holy fuck, I didn't know you could draw tickle bitties in a bikini in 8-bit. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Oh yeah, check this out. Opinion. Sex appeal doesn't have to be a random bikini. Oh boy, it begins. Yeah, so this is an image showing some of the outfits you can unlock in Stellar Blade. I can't wait to play it. The gameplay was pretty good. I enjoyed the demo.
You're reasonable, Toast. You're reasonable. Just don't let the eye candy ruin your real world desires. You got to realize fiction is fiction, reality is reality. Don't let that destroy realistic expectations. That's what both guys and gals need to have understanding of, you know. And guys not as much, but still.
I mean, these people don't like pretty women in real life either, because men, there might be somewhere a man might be happy and they can't have that.
Exactly. So.
Oh man. Right. So it says here, much of the pre-release discussion of Stellar Blade has revolved around the appearance of its protagonist, Eve. After finishing the game and writing my Stellar Blade review, which we might cover that because, you know, more idiocy to dig for, I expect the post-release discourse to be more of the same. So here I am discoursing. Stellar Blade has become a new stage for an old debate. It's been held up as a game for men of culture, a throwback to a time when games were brave and sexy as determined by a vocal crowd that seems hell-bent on ignoring how sexy games currently are and have been. This is a gaslight. The reason why this game is being put on this, the reason why this game is being put on the pedestal it's on now is because the last several games with women in them have been complete hatchet face ogres, and none of them have been fucking attractive. As a matter of fact, you try to undo the attractiveness people deliberately try to put in the game with censoring outfits and changing the proportions of characters and reducing breast and butt size. Like, this is just a complete fucking gaslight. Like, it's not true at all. What are you talking about?
It is peak gas. I keep saying peak gaslight. I can't emphasize that shit enough.
They've been actively trying to stifle sex appeal in gaming. What are they talking about?
That's why the concept of forced sex appeal is not a concept. It's an anti-concept. That you can't have sex appeal and have it be forced. What you get when you try to force sex appeal is putting a rape scene in a Hammer video film studio's Frankenstein movie.
I don't think that's sex appeal. I don't think that's sex appeal. See that okay.
No shit, but
the reason why
but one of the staffs admitted they wanted to try to sex up the movie with a rape scene, which is peak what the actual fuck you're a gun target right there on my opinion. No, that's not an advocacy, NSA. Tongue wax my fucking taint.
That word's flagged, by the way. Be careful how many times you say it. Also, the reason why the phrase makes no sense is because you either have sex appeal or you don't. And I know what they're trying to say. Oh, they put attractive people in the game on purpose. But, like, why are you so offended by the sight of a beautiful woman?
What the fuck, Babs?
Like, make an argument for why it's bad. Like, please, like, do anything.
What the fuck, asshole? Jesus Christ.
Try not to get so distracted by the chat. I'm trying to talk about the article.
That kind of caught me. That just caught me off guard.
All right, so it says this year alone has seen Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, and the first build of Hades 2, which the first build of Hades 2 has already been showing some signs of DEI, so they just plugged that in there for the shits and giggles. The funny thing is, every time a game shows up, which they've named very few in this list. Every time a game shows up that has a woman that's attractive, they fucking bitch about it. So, like, they're just going to be back here in the next fucking month or two when another hot protagonist comes out, writing articles like this. Again, more copium and gaslighting. Says a mere handful of the latest amazingly sexy games. Stellar Blade is just louder about its sex appeal. Whatever the fuck that means. What were you about to say?
Just
there we go. Finally.
Oh shit, your mic works. Hey, what's up?
It's connected. Yeah.
Because I'm home.
Say,
I'm not elsewhere.
I have a saying, but I'll just have to DM it because I'm not sure if I want to fucking say it on stream. But I got something. I'm pretty sure you'll know the reference.
So anyway, to reread it and get the whole thought out, it says Stellar Blade is just louder about its sex appeal, and part of the audience that it's And part of the audience that its approach has attracted has in turn loudly trumpeted it as the superior way. I mean, the majority of gamers are male, and most males are heterosexual, and most heterosexual men like attractive women. Like, you can get over that, bro. Like, that's never going to change, and then this will always be fought against. Man. Yeah, it's just marketing. It's appealing to your core demographic, something you guys don't know how to do anymore. Like,
no, they don't. It's it. Like I said earlier, stay cold and shareholder masters. Don't whip me no more. I'll get out in the cotton field.
Some people explicitly want Stellar Blade to be a gallery of shiny heinies, while others are put off by the bizarre masculine chest beating over Eve's design and have dismissed her as senseless backward titillation. Well, those people can get bent. They don't deserve to play the game because they're too stupid to see past a woman's sex appeal in favor of the gameplay. Unlike the fucking demographic you're attempting to shame, this is a video game, and if the gameplay was shit, they wouldn't buy it. You fucking goofballs. God damn it, bro. Having played the whole game,
here's another thing here's the thing that makes me that's really funny about this.
Yeah,
they're trying to shame a demographic of dude for being shameless when they to a group of dudes who had very little shame to begin with.
Very little shame. You're just insulting game. I mean, I'm not gonna act like gamers don't deserve to be shamed further, but you just kind of shamed them further. Gamers have no shame. Well, you gotta have a point. The COD lobby thing is still a joke. It's a running gag. Like, the tactical, like the N-bomb is the new tactical nuke of Call of Duty, man. Like, you don't need 25 kills to drop that one.
What the fuck is it? Give Torture West Savage Day? What the fuck?
You don't need 25 kills to drop an N-bomb in Call of Duty.
Oh my god.
It's not an insult to say gamers are shameless. That's a compliment.
Nah, might as well be at that point because
you should
so
have
many
shame.
Gamers are fucked up.
You should have shame.
Yeah, I know, Cats. I know. I've met a few, and some of the power fantasies have scared the ever loving shit out of me.
Okay, moving on. Haven't played the whole game and quite enjoyed it both, despite and sometimes because of Eve's design. I think both extremes miss what's good and bad here. Where's the extreme? So here, listen to what he says next. It's fine to make characters sexy for the sake of sexiness. Okay, so this article's over then. This article means absolutely nothing. Yet he's gonna write some more. And it's fine to like Stellar Blade regardless of this whole debate. I like it. People like to see and to create attractive characters. I just love it when people say, I'm a really big fan of so-and-so, and then go on to be the most biased and objectively wrong person in the discussion despite being a supposed fan of something. Like, it's always some fundamental shit. Like, whenever they say that, I'm a huge fan of Spider-Man, but he loses to Batman. Like, shut up. Go ahead.
It's like they think saying that gives them a bit more credibility. It's like,
it doesn't, bro.
How do you
continue? Were you done?
I was gonna make a reference to how do you do feel a kid's meme, but I've realized that doesn't actually apply here.
Nah, it does, because they're being a chameleon to try and say some dumb shit. It's really the same thing. So you weren't off base.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Not
I'll
really.
say again with more confidence.
It says
fellow kids.
It says, and it would be a shame to reduce Stellar Blade's visual identity to the ass game. Too late, you've already done that, because some environmental artists really flexed here. I don't want to just both sides this into mush. There's been a lot of deserved talk about the male gaze, and part of it played into how Eve looks. As someone with a lot of experience unlearning that same male gaze, I have an editor scaring amount of thoughts. on how Stellar Blade fails Eve, why I actually like her core design, and why I expect plenty of people to feel a similarly neutral way once everyone can actually play this game. To explain all this, I am forced to once again break my greatest superpower, asexuality. So you have no libido, and you have no libido, and you're the authority on why sex appeal should be somewhere, and how sex appeal hurts a video game.
What? I'm gonna press X to doubt on him being
like someone needs to get some zinc in them and by eating a few steaks and oysters and get their head rewired and actually have a drive. Because if you actually are functioning in the right ways, the drive's a killer.
Jesus Christ. She's sexy but doesn't know it. First of all, we have no idea if that's even the case because the character doesn't make her sex appeal a personality trait, which is actually conducive to having a good character, but whatever. Because a character can be aware of their attractiveness and not have their head up their ass, but we don't know either way because she doesn't fucking talk about it. What? What were you saying?
I literally, I was just saying, get off the greens, get off the soy, get off the processed slop, get off the fucking critical psychosis factory shit.
Anyway, we're gonna read through each of these. Yeah, we're gonna read through each of these reasons for why, whatever. This article is not about me, but I should explain where I'm coming from. For me, romantic and sexual attraction are not only foreign but utterly undesirable. Yet you're an authority on this. Why? Like, what the fuck?
Romantic isn't. Wait, what?
He says, for me, romantic and sexual attraction are not only foreign, but utterly undesirable. So more than with your average person, games like Stellar Blade bark up the wrong tree when they assume that I, as a man, am eager to gawk at and fantasize about characters like Eve. I mean, it's not our fault you were born wrong, bro. Like, most people have a functioning sex drive. Like, I don't know what you want, bro. Like, she's hot. I like her. I'd consider myself sex positive, but my God, bro, is this the whole article? This is like, oh my God, like what does that fucking famous meme with gun people? Fucking, I support the Second Amendment, but like this is the whole article. Attractive women are okay. But like it's whatever. It's always a statement always follows that completely contradicts the fucking first. Like that's this whole article. But anyway, she's hot. I like her. I consider myself sex positive, but I truly, from the pit of my gut, do not care. Okay, that's fine. I'm not put off by Stellar Blade's ham-handed sexiness or its assumptions about me, but I am sensitive to and critical of tone and storytelling, and Eve's treatment undeniably hurts the game's voice, whatever the fuck that means. Anyway, we're gonna stop here for a second and examine why sex appeal being in a game is being protected by certain people. Let me gather my thoughts for a second. Fuck, this is a lot to take in because some of these ideas are just fucking backward and brain dead. Like,
I mean,
go ahead.
One of the best ways, one of the best arguments for it is just artistic expression or some shit like that. I mean,
no, it's not even that. They don't understand why, like I said before, Eve is being put on a pedestal. Right. The reason why this game is being put on the pedestal it's on is because we've noticed that you're deliberately trying to remove sex appeal. That's the only fucking reason. And he's saying that he's saying that it's fine that it's there, while at the same time trying to think of reasons why it's wrong for it to be there, or making up and fabricating bullshit like her beauty hurts the story. Like, what the fuck does that mean? What does that even fucking mean? Like, if you played the demo, a fairly attractive character gets fucking butchered right in front of the protagonist. Like, their sex appeal is like a fucking secondary characteristic to the entire story. Yet these motherfuckers are just they're so pressed by it, dude. Like, it bothers them so much that there's a pretty woman in the video game and a man might be happy looking at a pretty woman in a video game. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, you can't expect people. My bad. I'll wrap this up and you can go. You can't expect people to sit down and just watch as everything they like gets taken away from them. That includes sexy women in video games. Like, it's not fair for you to have the ugly people in your game, and if we want some sexy people in our game, you tell us we can't have it. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, I mean, I could make an entire article about the ugly people in your games, but I'm not going to, because I'm not a fucking ideologically possessed retard like you are. Go ahead.
My thing is just like, even if, like, you know, this like sex appeal is my cup of tea, like, it is worth defending, because one, who are you to deny how someone wishes to make his game out of passion? Two, there's an audience for it, so like, it's not like you can really rally a bunch of people against it.
Not really, because sex sells.
For a reason.
It does. It just does.
But also, really, it's just so counterintuitive to what they're trying to do, because you're basically telling women that you cannot be sexy. You cannot have any confidence in your body or anything like that. I remember
body positivity is only for fat, ugly people. It's not for attractive people
well,
with
no,
muscles.
It's not. Guess what? Most of the early body positivity queermos, most of them are dead. Because diabetes, liver failure, heart failure, you know.
Failure. Just failure.
Well, actually, no, it wasn't a failure. It's more like the organs said, no, I refuse to put up with your shit. I'm fucking off with myself. And then it happened.
Their heart put in its 2-week notice and went to look for another job.
Yeah. Some of them even went and put a bomber vest on and just went kaboom. Jesus
Christ.
Babs told me I have a way with words. He ain't lying.
Okay. So listen to what he says. The problem is not that Eve is sexy. There's nothing wrong with her body. Okay, continue to apologize. She's not a walking trope built like a snake that swallowed some melons. Her body is based on a scan of a real person, so her figure is demonstrably realistic. So here's the thing. That's the case for every other fucking character that you idiots complain about, except for the more stylized versions of them. Either way, it doesn't matter, because even those characters are derivative of real women. So whether it's based on the body scan of a model or not, like, what's the problem? Like, you're just bitching into the wind about something that's not a real issue. Go ahead.
I find it extra hilarious that they trying so that their first criticisms, or like their first ways of trying to like demean the game was by calling it unrealistic, and then right after they started complaining, they revealed the actual model, like the actual beautiful woman they modeled to make for the main character of the game.
No,
I mean, they were wrong anyway.
No, apparently to these fucks, women with pale gals with BBCs dangling around is apparently the new supermodel material for games to be put in for all ages to see, apparently.
God damn it, Wes.
Just swing it, dude. Does the dong hang low? Does it wiggle to and fro?
Anyway.
Stop. You need to be stopped.
It says, even if some
the other company Ubisoft for nothing.
Okay, that was pretty good.
I get it.
Even if some outfits inexplicably move her navel around or add 50% more ass onto a woman who's already trying to fit 20 pounds of ass into 10 pounds of pants, First of all, that's not true. It's a form-fitting outfit, and the way you can tell something doesn't fit is if you're bursting out of it, not if it lays against your skin. It'll be tight, but you'll be able to fit it because it's something called a just fit, which is something you see in sneakers and clothing, but whatever. And they're trying to make it seem like that these outfits somehow break the narrative sure, they might break immersion, but the point is for the player to be able to have fun. That's literally the only reason the outfits are there, for fun. Like, anyway, she also jiggles like a bag of pudding nailed to the wall of a moving train, but what did we all expect from the developers of Nikkei? Like, body fat jiggles, okay? There's body fat in ass cheeks. There's body fat in breasts, and it jiggles. Like, what is wrong? Like, have you ever seen a breast? Wrong? You probably haven't. I don't even know why I'm asking.
Also, I guess
have you seen an ass cheek?
When are we gonna get the movie of a Disney princess that's got the giant tree trunk under the skirt? When are we gonna get to see that? That's gonna be a great comedy.
Ladies in the chat, are your breasts and buttocks made of marble? Are they made of granite? Do they not move ever? Do your nipples crack windows? Like, could you use them in an emergency situation to escape a kidnapper? Like, this is fucking stupid. Jesus fucking Christ.
Ladies, here's a good tip. Make sure you wear chest insulation because when you go in the freezer section, your nipples will harden.
Probably, yeah.
They can poke through packages. They can rip teddy bears at that point.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Babs requested me do some more cringe humor. He got it. Because I try to please my fans.
I like loads of details in Eve's design. She has incredible brows and lashes. I love the little baby hairs by her ears. The subtly imperfect texturing of her skin and the pores on her cheeks. So it's okay for you to point out the physical attributes of the character you like, but no one else gets to. Okay, that's nice. Not hypocritical at all.
It's especially funny that he's complimenting everything that's not her breasts or her butt.
Or curves, or anything that makes a woman attractive. You know, like, whatever. I love that she has some natural. Go ahead.
He's complimenting everything except what us regular guys like to see in a woman.
It's weird. I'm like, what Coomer dungeon turned basement? What basement that served as a Coomer dungeon a couple times did this fucker crawl out of? Like,
he's asexual. Like he doesn't.
Asexual, sure. Asexual, my ass.
I almost made a joke that would have got me flagged. Holy shit. I'm not going to say it.
DM it to me. I need something to cry about.
Yeah, I press X to doubt on.
Holy fuck. I'm so glad I didn't say that. Oh, Lord.
Chat, press X to doubt.
Don't say this out loud, Wes.
Coming to an adult theater near
anyway,
Netflix network.
Anyway, fuck, where was I? Oh, he says, I love that she has some natural belly fat while being slim. She doesn't have an ounce of fat on her, bro. And if she does, it's like very little. I don't know what he's talking about. Anyway, she's a great looking character, and it's genuinely fun to put her in the mini outfits. So he admits it's fun, which is the entire point of the option. No, you've just justified everything the creators did. Whatever. She's a great looking character, and it's genuinely fun to put her in the mini outfits, accessories, and hairstyles that Stellar Blade offers, some of which are plenty fashionable. I mean, of course it is. Customizing characters is a video game staple. For my money, Eve is sexier and cooler in outfits that actually have enough material to embellish and accentuate her. That absolutely rocks. A leather jacket and jeans, and that's just the start. So again, like, what is your problem with the customization options? Like,
so is he happy that she's sexy or not?
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the most bipolar fucking article I've ever read. Says the problem is that Eve's sexiness is totally divorced from the rest of the game and her personality. What does that mean? And Stellar Blade wants to be taken seriously despite how strangely this comes across. So you can't take sexy women seriously is what I'm getting from this, like, which is completely retarded. Like, you know that in a lot of horror, in a lot of folklore, they use a woman's sex appeal as a weapon, like the Lamia, the Siren, the Succubus, Medusa. You will quite literally die if you are someone who is a slave to the flesh in a lot of folklore. So the idea that you can't take sexy women seriously is quite literally a death sentence. Like you are a monkey-brained, lizard-brained idiot if you think this. Like if you think a sexy woman isn't capable of killing you. Like this is literally what happened in feudal Japan. Like in feudal Japan, they'd have spies become like the spouses or the concubines, wives, girlfriends of fucking feudal lords and have sex with them and then kill them in their sleep because, like this idiot, they didn't take a sexy woman seriously. Like it's retarded.
They just fucking sipped over her and then they got fucking necked or stabbed or gutted or flayed out in the middle of the fucking night when no one was watching. Or it would have been out in public and she made her fucking ninjutsu fucking escape. Like,
yep, we went as fast as he came. Yep, they're just out of there after that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, women can fuck your shit up if they want to. If they're trained right, they can fuck your shit up.
What'd you say, Soups?
I mean, yeah, they basically. Back then, women just had a special power of sexual nujutsu, and then boom, they that's how they accomplished their goals.
I mean, women still have that. Like, if you're a fucking sucker who is easily swayed by a woman's beauty, then yeah, they still have that. Like, you can, like, a lot. This is how like prostitutes rob guys.
This is back in an era before the terms alpha, beta, and all that were thrown around like willy nilly amongst the human species. You had the simps and the shitbags. Fucking died like this, or they got what they actually deserved.
And you see this in Berserk too. Like there's a specific character who dies because he acts like he's never seen a woman before, and it's pretty funny. But anyway, I just thought that one line in this article was really interesting. Like it's like you can't take the game seriously because she's too hot. Like get over yourself. Whatever. I think this is why a lot of people don't like how Eve looks. Characters like Bayonetta own and flaunt their sexiness, and games like Hades are inextricably sexy from corner to. Why do they keep bringing up Hades? Like two people on the planet bring that game up for its sex appeal, and they're both LGBTQ. I'm exaggerating, but you get the point. No one holds Hades as the standard for sex appeal in gaming. Like, they're just trying to plug this game. They want this shit to be true so bad. For the record, there is no difference in character archetype between Bayonetta and fucking Eve, but they're trying to make it seem like there is. They're both femme fatale character archetypes. They're sexy and badass at the same time, but somehow Bayonetta is fine and Eve isn't. Like, what are they doing? Like, there's no way you believe what you're typing right now, bro. So it's only okay to have a sexy woman if they're up their ass about it, which I wouldn't say Bayonetta is, but she is fucking, she's not shy about it either, Like, they're trying to make it seem like there's only one way to be attractive, and that's very rich, especially coming from an asexual person. Like it's just wild.
It's peak.
Is there an argument to call this entire article sexist towards women? Because that'd be hilarious.
There's definitely been some sexist things said. You can't take a game seriously if the woman's too sexy.
I'll tell you this much: you couldn't get more irony if you was eating a girl out while she was on her period.
That was horrible, Wes. Please stop.
It was intentionally in bad taste. No shit.
I see what you did there.
I was about to ask you, cunt. I was gonna ask if you cunt to see what I did there, just to signal that. But you got it quick enough.
That's partly why they're so beloved. This stuff is hard to pull off convincingly and memorable when done well. Everyone being horny in and for Baldur's Gate 3 comes to mind, but Eve's amped up. Wait, why did he gloss over Baldur's Gate 3? He just mentions it and just glosses over it. Probably because he realizes that game defeats his entire argument. Because the entire week that game was out, every fucking furry Coomer brain on the internet was like, "Oh my god, this game is so sexy. It's so great. The fucking you can fuck bears in this game. It's so awesome." And now that everyone's saying the protagonist in fucking Stellar Blade is hot, it's a problem. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, literally go jump in a lake, bro. Like, go play in traffic.
Go shove broken mercury thermometers up your ass until you pass out,
bro.
That's so
join a blood gang and become a matador, bro. Like, this shit is stupid.
Seriously.
Like,
the fuck.
But Eve's amped up sexiness is a weird outlier. You just said how fucking Bayonetta's character is better because she's flaunting her sex appeal. But Eve's sexiness is amped up, even though earlier you just said she's sexy and doesn't know it. Like, you brainless fucking jellyfish. Do you even know what argument you're trying to make anymore?
Appeal is like me.
Oh, by the way, I'm asexual. Like,
no, an asexual sex appeal is like me, a guy trying to talk about a pregnant woman's trimesters, like I would know what the fuck the experience is, or the Octomom, or a polygamous Mormon family trying to talk to me about birth control. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, Wes, anybody can have an opinion, but
the opinions.
Everyone has an asshole. Like,
if it's fucking AIDS and contradictory, shove it. Fucking criminy.
You're entitled to your opinion, and you're entitled to be woefully misinformed as well. Go ahead.
Right, and you're also entitled to get fucked with over it if you're being hypocritical or peak irony. No.
I think the biggest irony. I think the bigger irony is that people used to have this exact same discussion over Mortal Kombat women back in the day. And now look at them. And now look at half of Mortal Kombat women have just been desexualized to the point that
their sales were higher back then too.
What happened. I mean, you even got fuckers who find Melina hot for some reason, even without the mask off, because apparently freaks are a thing.
Or weirdos.
No, that's not weirdos. That's called fucking gross. Because you can't get head from teeth like that. You're just gonna. It's fetishizing castration. Period.
I guess.
Oh God.
That's like the clops with the pony shit. That's fetishized impalement.
The next line is she has next to no interest in her own appearance or sex appeal. At most, she mentions her hairstyle one time. Like, why is he making these claims with only a demo out, first of all? Second of all, the character never mentions their own sex appeal. That's not the same thing as having no interest. Like, you're trying to read the mind of not only a fictional character, but a character that has not fucking made their intentions regarding their sex appeal clear. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't even get what he's trying to do. Like, she has no interest in her own sex appeal. She's too busy. I think she's too busy fighting fucking aliens to give a fuck about her sex appeal. And unlike Bayonetta, she doesn't have fucking superpowers. So
right.
Wait, she doesn't?
She has the exosuit.
Oh my God, Babs! Fucking why?
Or at the very least, unlike Bayonetta, she's not an immortal goddess.
Right.
Or whatever.
Babs said, "We used to call them Black and Decker Pecker Wreckers, Wesley."
It becomes a matter of agency. Eve herself doesn't show off her body. God. The camera lingers on it. What?
What's wrong with that?
So the camera showing parts of her body is eliminating her agency. Whatever. Eve herself doesn't show off her body. The camera lingers on it with a habit of overtly putting her butt front and center. Eve would never choose to wear the game's more revealing get-ups. You have no fucking idea if that's true. You don't know that. again, trying to
Also,
read the
it's
character's
a choice of the
mind.
player, hence a game.
Yeah, that's a player choice. You know what's crazy is that this guy literally just said he dressed the character up in all sorts of outfits. So he's an active participant in removing the character's agency while making this fucking point. Like, what the fuck? You can't make this shit up. You can't.
So, can this guy just concede and just say let women be sexy, because that's the whole
No, because he's one of those asexual lefties that might be a closeted narc that likes.
I was about to
emotionally
say, I don't think we
manipulative.
could hear him. I don't think we could hear his admission from that far in the closet.
No,
But anyway.
no, hell no. It's not even a closet. It's a fucking cupboard.
The bank vault. It's a walk-in bank vault.
It's an underground bunker. He's got the presidential protection all
No,
secured right in there.
it's a sewer. It's a sewer.
It's a sewer.
Oh, he's
my
hanging out with
God.
Pennywise then, I guess.
No, it's even worse. It's a section of sewer that Pennywise refused to go near.
Here's the fucking outfits he had a problem with. The bunny girl, the bikini, and the other bunny girl, the other bikini, which he's trying to be fucking funny, but there's more than just bikinis and fucking bunny girl outfits, but whatever.
Right, there's titty jiggle physics. They're like, especially from Dead or Alive, really pioneered a lot of those, you know. For
Yeah,
example.
but Dead or Alive's jiggle physics, I admit those shits are fucking ridiculous. Like,
Oh my god.
their tits have recoil. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, well, you see why a lot of boys back then bought the hell out of the game, and a few lesbians in the closet too. You can see fucking why, you know.
Jesus Christ! It says
Honestly, that was just peak. If I ever saw.
some outfits look great from the front, but then you spin the camera around and find a skirt or leotard hiked so far up Eve's ass that you need pliers to get it out. There is none of Eve in this. She's, what the fuck? Why are you speaking on behalf of the fictional character? She can only be forced to wear these outfits by the player. Now she's forced. The video game character is a victim. Oh my god! Like,
Oh my god!
If I was a battle-ready woman heading out to fight monsters, my suit-up checklist would not include vacuum sealing my boobs or bedazzling my groin. The look doesn't match. This stuff exists outside the context of the game's world as something artificial for the viewer's enjoyment, so it disrupts that world. You hate fun. You hate fun, sir. It doesn't ruin the experience, or at least it didn't for me, but it's jarring. Yeah, whatever. Make sexy make sense.
So someone else can get it. He wants no one else to get it.
Oh boy. This isn't limited to Eve either. Male lead Adam is conspicuously covered up and has one of the best character designs overall. So now being covered up is a problem. Okay. But the base skin for Lily, a younger looking girl from a different squad than Eve, is an open top with a bikini. Is an open top? I think he meant has an open top with a bikini underneath. Despite her more petite figure, she jiggles just as absurdly as Eve. Lily is written as a Tom. Yeah, him and like 5 other people on the planet. Lily is written as a tomboyish engineer, and I think she looks much better in the alternate outfit with a big poncho and light gear like knee pads, which to me highlights another problem with Stellar Blade's presentation and its narrow interpretation of sexiness. Sensible, stylish outfits exist, but unfitting sexiness is the default and most common option. Yet the game makes it abundantly clear that these outfits are not appropriate for the circumstances. So if we're going to add them anyway, just for the players who do want to see them, why make them the default? Why not position these outfits as the silly optional choices that they are? What do you want her to wear instead, buddy? Like, what do you want? Do you want a fucking
let's
burqa?
be honest. A lot of the
wants her
public
to have a
want to
flat
see her
chest with a
naked.
man's
Let's be
jawline.
honest.
What'd you say?
A lot of the public would want to see her wear nothing. But
Yeah, Sony's not gonna allow that, bro. We just wait for the
He just
PC
wants-
release.
Guys, it's simple. He just wants her to have a flat chest with a man's jawline. Perfect.
Yep, that's what they want. Too bad. The characters would look sharper up front, and the people who like the sexier bits could still knock themselves out. You can just as easily say, I like the sexy look. Why don't you just wear the less revealing ones? Like, okay, whatever. Why don't you just play a different game? How about that? The game was advertised. The game was advertised a certain way. You saw the advertisements and still bought the game. Like, no.
I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna honestly ask. Does this guy really know if he's asexual or not? Did he get his? Did he get a hooker to tongue punch his prostate to see if he liked it or not? Did he really see if he really was asexual, or if he's just really closeted about it, that closeted at wanting pegging or something? Like, what's really going on here?
I don't really want to open that debate
of this whole article. Just
I don't want to open that debate, man. I don't want to.
I do. So it'd be fucking hilarious.
He's either deep in the closet or he just can't get it up and hates that everyone else can.
It's something like a heterosexual man wouldn't have a problem.
Rudy,
I'm just
Jesus
saying.
fuck.
What'd he say?
He said Rudy said we all know the hooker would be a 6 foot tall black boy.
My God, bro.
God. Son of a bitch.
Oh man.
It's so hard not to laugh.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I just read the next line. So his problem with the outfit choices is that the sexy ones are the default choices, even though he admits in the next line that there are options for less revealing clothing. Like, what the fuck? Let me reread this entire line just so you guys have the bigger picture. The characters will look sharper up front, and the people who like the sexier bits could still knock themselves out. You can just as easily say, I like the sexy look. Why don't you just wear the less revealing ones? That is what I did in my playthrough, and it's good that option exists, but the priorities feel odd for an otherwise straight-faced action-adventure game. Like, what a goofball. Like, he obviously knows why the sexier options are the focus, but he hates male heterosexuality just like the rest of the leftist society, and it must be erased from everything that exists. But anyway, there's nothing inherently wrong with liking these outfits or with games having this material in it. I just wish the developers had gone all in and made more sexy stuff that actually looks good on Eve. Didn't you say you liked the outfits? You like bad looking outfits?
This Austin Wood character is trying to overdose on copium. Like, he's trying to needle 100 needles to see if he ODs on it.
This is the most bipolar shit ever, dude.
It's not even bipolar. It's schizophrenic. It's like a level of schizophrenic that would make Terry A. Davis's worst moments look normal. Like, what the fuck?
I just wish the developers had gone all in and made more sexy stuff that actually looks good on Eve, something she would feasibly wear. Hades 2's Aphrodite wears a few strands of her own hair and nothing else, but is less vulgar than Eve in a bikini. That's what?
How?
Is he really making the point that being naked is less vulgar than wearing a bikini?
What?
Okay, a good, tough sale on that one, buddy.
So it's okay for her to be in the nude, but not okay for her to have the suits that outline her figure?
I don't know, man. Like, what? It said.
I thought he was trying to insult Coomers. Or what?
What?
Is he on?
Anyway, fucking A. I don't want less or censored smut. I want thoughtful smut. Why is this smut? So attractive women who look good in what they wear are now classified as smut. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's what this implies. Sexual themes don't have to be taboo and shouldn't be, but they don't have to be dumb either. Oh, maybe like fucking a bear, like at a game showcase showing that you can have sex with bears.
You just
whatever, because having sex with a bear makes all the sense. Fucking A. That's so thoughtful. Go ahead.
That reminds me of that fucking Gilbert Gottfried joke where Hunter goes in the woods. He tries to shoot the bear. The bear bounces him, turns him over on his stomach, fucks him in the ass. Then another week later, he goes out to find that bear. He brings a machine gun. The bear does it to him again. And then the third week, he goes out there, tries again, and shoots him with a cannon. Dodges the cannonball. Then hits him over and says, "You didn't come out here just to hunt, did you?"
Saw where it was going before he finished the punchline.
Yeah,
I try to picture
a mile away.
I try to picture Eve in a climactic cutscene wearing an outfit that's nearly lingerie, and my brain just shorts out. My favorite moments, Az literally said this shit in the stream where they reviewed this article for the fucking ripping the silverback. He's like, "Oh my god, I'm attracted to a woman." Literally, that's what this article reads like. "Oh my god, I'm attracted to a woman." Like, my favorite moments with Eve were her interactions with side quest characters, including several young girls for whom she clumsily but earnestly assumes a big sister type role. Characters like the scrap merchant Kaya are adorably excited to talk to Eve and starstruck to receive her help. These moments and conversations are a big part of what little characterization Eve receives. And I don't think it's controversial to say it would be weird for Eve to be in a bikini during them. What'd you say?
So he's trying to judge her characterization from a short demo.
Actually, no. I was wrong on that. I can retract that, but I have a tough time believing this. At the top, he actually does say he beat it at least twice, I believe. Again, whatever. I mean, we'll revisit this after I play the game because this article's bullshit already. It doesn't even matter whether or not he played the game. I guarantee every claim in this fucking article is bullshit. Guaranteed. Anyway, the last line of this... Is this the last line? Yeah, the last line of this dumpster fire reads, "The game's serious and sexy sides are fine in isolation, but don't mesh. There's irrevocable conflict between the way Eve is portrayed and the way she is written. This weakens her as a character and displaces the tone of the story, and it's a missed opportunity." My God. Again,
this guy would not survive.
This article just boils down to her being attractive is a problem, because I can't believe that an attractive woman would find herself in this situation. Like, it's very exhausting hearing some of the arguments being levied by these people, especially when you contradict yourself the entire way down the fucking article. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, we've gone through 3 articles, but we still have a little bit of time left. Let me see what else we can probably try and cover.
I just find it funny that this dude is... So we got a game that's like good gameplay, has decent characterization, plus is sexy. It's a feature. He's complaining so much about the feature of the game. Like the extra, like... What's the nice analogy for this?
The cherry on top.
The sex appeal, the sex appeal just feels like the whipped cream or the cherry on top of a good cake, apparently.
Okay, let's see what other suggestions we got. By the way, if there's any articles you guys want covered on the show, feel free to suggest some in the comments. You might not be able to link them directly because I don't know if YouTube will allow that, but you can just type in some search terms and we'll just go ahead and try and find those for you so we can cover them on the show.
Hey guys, I gotta restart Discord real quick, so
yeah, you can go ahead and do that. Yeah. I'm just digging for something else to try and cover here. Soups, while I'm doing that, if you want, you can go ahead and read some of the comments that they're leaving behind if there's anything questioning what's going on.
Questioning? Nah, these guys have been following along a lot better than I have, because I'm like 2 hours late into this. Rudy, Ruby straight up would be cooking this guy if he was on stream.
He be cooking him.
The comments he leaves is just hilarious. Oh man.
We can cover the female custodian thing.
Oh, you didn't cover that yet?
No, you can cover it though.
Yeah, let's do
it. This one. Please shut up about 40K's female custodes. Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh hey, Wes is back.
This should be good. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to take another bathroom break. Damn it. Right back.
Oh, come on.
What do you want? I'm going to the bathroom, man. I'm not fucking.
All right, so you gotta he's got to whip his pipe out and let off the pressure.
Shut up.
Let the horse release water.
He has to let off some steam.
No, that's the innuendo for beating off. That doesn't apply to pissing.
I just wanted to throw my own joke in there, man.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, Christ.
Well, I was asking earlier, but what were some of the other topics y'all talked about before?
About the fucking Truny Toon Joker shit, and I just cackled like a maniac, and I was dying inside from just cringing off the so fucking out of the solar system. Holy shit.
God.
And you know, made my own wisecracking commentary, you know, just bang me, you know, while trying to hold what's left of my sanity, because I can't take that many psychic attacks at once, because I got enough stretch marks on each neuron to look like each one's fucking been pregnant thrice.
Brainworms is now, by the way, I'm back. Brainworms got to become like a staple of this channel. It's
we don't do
brainworms.
Shows, Babs. Go somewhere else, you homo.
Got brainworms.
Sorry, Toast, I can't entertain you because again, we don't have cameras for that.
Wow.
Rudy.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, you just missed the best part. You would have loved transgender Joker.
I'm glad I dodged that bullet. Thank you.
My God. Yeah, you missed that.
Not quite cats. Not quite cats, but I've been close more than once.
Jesus Christ, man.
But you've read the shit that I have. Probably would want yourself locked up. Some of the shit I've learned about what's in the goings on in the world, just in literature.
All right. So the article's up. There's no other further comments to address. Let me see. Any comments to? Nope.
I mean, everyone's just
they're just vibing. So yeah, this next article is going to be coming from The Gamer. And I had to pick this one because it's like very vocal and like vitriolic and vehement, if I can use that word in that as a verb or a verb, adjective, whatever. If I could use that word at all to describe this article, that would make it an adjective. It says, please shut up about 40K's female custodes. Warhammer 40K confirms female Adeptus Custodes in new codex.
No, we will never shut up. Go fuck yourselves. Anyhow.
Okay.
I'm not even a close fan of Warhammer, but that's just unacceptable.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? Warhammer 40K is something I would like if I had been introduced to it early enough. And I know it's not too late to get into it, because I do love everything I see about it. I love the Space Marines. I love the aesthetic. I love the the dark science fantasy aspect of the world. I love the politics. I love the mythos. It's all fucking awesome. It's my kind of shit. But I just wasn't introduced to it before D&D. I just wasn't. So like I feel like I missed the boat a little because I don't have as deep a relationship with that as I do with like Marvel, DC, fighting games, urban fantasy,
Image as well.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, you and I are simpatico in this particular area, though, Kaine. I won't lie.
Yeah, like 40K. Like this is dope shit. Like I would definitely have been participating if I was around at the same time. Yeah, or at an early enough time. Because I was born in '97. Like, it's not like I was around for the start of fucking D&D or anything. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, from the little I actually know like a couple people online who are like big fans of Warhammer.
Like, look at this shit. It looks fucking awesome. It's like a fucking electric bayonet.
It looks so metal.
And what's beautiful is that all they need to do is just animate the fucking soldiers of certain different factions in Warhammer 40K and make a fucking spoof series like they did with the furry fucking meme videos they did a while back. And it was
red versus blue with Warhammer 40K factions. That'd be fucking funny.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
Anyway, let's start the article. It says Warhammer 40K fans are engaged in yet another brutal civil war, the likes of which hasn't been seen since the Horus Heresy. Except it keeps happening. Oh my God. The loud right-wing voices in the hobby are yet again arguing that Games Workshop has broken its
right-wing. I fucking knew it.
the loud right-wing.
These critical cringe AIDS commie cunts are just not hiding.
The loud right-wing voices. Wait, sorry, Soups, go ahead. Go ahead, Soups.
That didn't. All I'm saying is, like, not even a paragraph in, and they already pulled a right wing card.
Fucking A, dude. Like, every time. Everyone can't be right wing, man. Like, everyone can't be fucking right wing.
Yes, they can. If you're not, if you're not bending backwards and getting pegged by their agenda, you're right wing according to them. So yes, you can.
Jesus.
I just think of that one bit in SpongeBob with the big crab that just goes, or like no, not the crab, the lobster that just goes observe.
Oh, fucking Larry the lobster. Observe.
Larry the lobster.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy?
What?
Multinational, multi-billionaires, including a certain individual with the last name Soros, helped co-fund these motherfuckers.
What? Okay, more on that later. More on that later. What?
I was gonna say, apparently, I think I know what Wes is talking about, because apparently a certain company named after a rock gave some funding to Warhammer, and after that, all these articles about the
Ebony
Custodes started appearing.
And I was gonna say Ebony Stone as a parody, but that shit.
But not only that, Newt Gingrich on Fox Fake News mentioned him funneling capital to BLM, Antifa, and unironic critical conscious or woke activists of different kinds. And he got told by the interviewers at the time, anchors, we can't talk about that, and kicked him off. I watched that morning at my aunt's house. I'm like, what the fuck?
I was gonna say Ebony Stone as a parody name for this company, but then I realized that sounded like the name of a porn actress. So
yeah, like that not funny comedian Whitney Cummings.
Wow.
Goes by her poor name, Whitney Cummings. Yeah, see, you're asking who. You're saying that's why I said she's not funny.
Moving on, the loud right-wing voices in the hobby are yet again arguing that Games Workshop has broken its own lore, is pandering to the woke mob, and that the hobby is burning on the pyre of its own making. Yep, that's right.
Well,
Games Workshop has mentioned women again. This particular flavor of misogyny comes in shiny gold packaging. Yes, the new 10th edition Adeptus Custodes Codex has got everyone frothing at the mouth, thanks to a story about a custodian in Caldace called, I mispronounced that, I know I did, called Taro Valia Kesh. The story is a double-page spread of juicy lore about the Blood Games, the competition in which members of the Adeptus Custodes attempt to assassinate the Emperor of Mankind in order to test Terra's defenses. Cash's plan is to teleport a planet-leveling exterminatus explosive right into the Emperor's throne room. It's a bold move, Cotton. It's a bold. What the fuck does that mean? I don't get that reference.
It's a reference to Dodgeball, the underdog story. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Which it's not. This whole move with the female custodians is already backfiring.
And you know what? That other thing they'll do, if you criticize the feminist underpinnings of this, they're going to call you a misogynist because you hate women, because they're so collectivist. They want to psyop you against calling them out, and so they do. You hate women's.
I mean, the thing is, it's not even about women. Like it isn't about women at all. It's about the fact that the custodians were handpicked to be male for a specific reason that they can't erase because the documentation still exists. But, you know,
absolutely.
I say that as a non-Warhammer fan who just watched some fucking lore videos. But, you know, whatever. I forgot who fucking put me on to Warhammer lore videos. But anyway. Says here.
Shout out to him.
You're coming in robotic. Try to reconnect real quick.
Am I still robotic?
Yeah. Only slightly. Just like hop in and hop out and hop in. Oh shit. We're back up to 7 viewers. Damn. I see Bruce is in the chat, aka Warshark.
Yep.
I see you sound better now. Ana Rude Sandstorm. They've hijacked almost every popular franchise. How does it feel to see everything you love go up in flames?
That's great.
Feels amazing.
Feels great.
Blue Jay, it probably was Blue Jay that put me onto it. Probably. Either him or Flight, because Flight was very big in the Warhammer. Too bad he doesn't show up anymore. Oh, okay. Next line. However, most people have read this and looked past the great writing. What? The great writing? Oh, I guess they're trying to say that it's great writing because in a vacuum, it could be seen as something good. No, it completely destroys what's been pre-established. This is a retcon that completely makes the entire Warhammer series at its foundation impossible, probably. Or at least the Custodian project itself impossible.
Hey Rudy, if you hear me, God bless the rooftop Koreans. You'll get why I said that when you see the chat later.
It's a story that humanizes the Custodians to some extent, gives nuance to their orders, and moves away from depicting them as robotic servants, AI automata, or pompous servitors clad in the Emperor's finery. It's tense and exciting.
There are so many stories that already prove that statement wrong.
Yeah, there are. As a matter of fact, many of the Custodians you follow are like tragic figures. Who's the one that has like pain spikes in his brain or something? He's like mad all the time, and I'm diluting this story heavily, but what's his name? He ended up becoming like one of Korn's servants or something.
Damn, I don't have the name on my head. I think someone in the chat knows though.
Yeah, that guy. Whoever that guy is, his fucking story is fucking brutal. Why do I feel like female custodians only existed as the Emperor's harem? He'd have some very weird fetishes, because if you know anything about the process of becoming a custodian, I'd seriously question the Emperor's tastes. Agron, that was him.
Yeah. Okay, yeah,
he's a tragic figure. Like all the shit they just named, yeah, that happens to him. You see his entire story if you follow his lore. It's tense, exciting, but all people can think about is the fact that Kesh uses she/her pronouns. I'm gonna butcher the fuck out of these names. I'm sorry in advance. So, Custodian Kaldasi Taravalia Kesh stood upon the bridge of a Cobra-class destroyer named Vigilant Flame. The warship belonged to the mighty battle fleet Solar. She lingered at the shadows at the back of the bridge, positioned at a spot where she could observe the actions of every crew member, be they in the instrumentation pits, at the armament shrines, or, in the case of Shipmaster Lethwick, stood ramrod straight before his command throne. This was enough to get those types livid, but Warhammer doubled down on its social media. Warhammer posted on the website formerly known as Twitter. It's still Twitter. In regards to female custodians, there have always been female custodians since the first of the 10,000 were created. Literally false. Literally false. Yeah, man, these companies do not give a fuck about you. They don't care. Man, I swear to God.
I'm not gonna replay. I'm not gonna repeat the fucking whip cracking joke I did earlier, because I've already done it like 2 or 3 times to emphasize the point.
Yep.
You know, law of diminishing returns, but it applies here.
Like, seriously, if you were ever a fan of Warhammer and you have not already withdrawn every cent you planned on giving them in the future, do so at this very moment. 3D print every figurine you can and do not give them any more money. Like, this is every company, it's just a humiliation ritual of shitting down the mouths of their fans, and it's ridiculous. Like, just consistently.
You know, I'm really wondering how this is gonna affect Henry Cavill Warhammer show. This is really fucking. If he's with a really promising series.
If he's as principled as he seems, he'll walk out if they try to inject any retarded DEI or critical theory into it. I'm hoping he'll stick to his guns.
I'm just hoping we'll get like a faithful show despite all this. That's what I'm hoping for. Because I really hope they don't come after Henry Cavill trying to make the Warhammer show.
Watch them make a female custodian DLC for the new Warhammer game that's already made. Looks great, by the way. It looks fucking vicious. I can't wait to buy it. Still waiting for reviews though, because I'm not gonna be a victim to hype again, bro. Dragon's Dogma 2 got its clutches in me because I had been waiting for that game sequel for, well, not 12 years, but a long fucking time, because I didn't buy it at launch. I did play the original Dragon's Dogma before Dark Arisen, but it wasn't exactly 12 years. But you get the fucking point. What'd you say?
Same way I felt when I finally got Spider-Man 2 and was thoroughly disappointed.
I don't know. Come on, man. You had forewarning for that one though. Like, you knew Miles was gonna be in it, bro. What'd you say?
No, not the Mary Jane face is what really took me out of it.
Oh my God,
Mary Jane treatment.
The next line says, taken literally, this means that the very first custodian was a woman. And those that followed were a mix of different genders. Different genders, guys, because there's not a recorded process of how this goes. They don't hand select people. They don't fucking pick who they want to be custodians based on a very specific and stringent set of criteria. as you would in a fucking super soldier program. It's literally a trope. It's a trope. It's a trope. Like literally, any fucking elite super soldier force goes through the same regimen. You have to pick a specific type of person with the right set of traits and DNA. Like it's, oh my God, ridiculous. Where the fuck was I? This shit is migraine inducing. Go ahead.
It's like by that logic, just any scrub could take the super soldier serum and be Captain America, and not like instead of it being made particularly special to one person. Same.
Shit, actually, I forget for the super soldier serum for sure, especially in the comics, you had to have a specific set of traits. In the movies, they make it seem like Steve was chosen because of his spirit, which that might have been half of the case in the books, but very few people survived the serum. Even if you look at the second successful super soldier from that serum, I forgot his name, Elijah something. He was a black guy. He was like the only person to survive out of the 12 or so applicants for the second super soldier program. They were trying to recreate Steve Rogers, and very few people survived. So even if you have the traits they need, even if you have Elijah Bradley. So even if you have the traits necessary to take the serum, it's still not guaranteed you'll fucking survive. And I would imagine that for Warhammer, it'd be fucking tenfold. So like, this shit completely undoes everything. So, oh man.
Yeah, and Sandstorm may say it best. They turned Mary Jane into Manly Jane.
Manly Jaw. Man. So it says, however, I suspect that Warhammer means that there were female custodians among the first 10,000. Either way, it's a big retcon that some people are mad about. So you admit it's a retcon. Yet this article continues.
Oh, God.
To admit it's a retcon would admit that the fucking creators are full of shit. Because no, there weren't always female custodians. You have two established canons that are fighting each other to the death. That is horrible writing. Like, whatever. The same quote as always is thrown around, which says that custodians are made from the sons of nobles. But none of these people know why the lore up until this point has been male centric, because the God King Emperor wanted them to be male. That's why. Also, the fucking core demographic of Warhammer 40K is males. I've never heard a woman talk about Warhammer 40K ever. Never. Go ahead, Soups.
I'm like, I was gonna say, I mean, the lore didn't survive only males. It's a specific process that only males typically survive.
Yeah.
It would not work on a woman.
Or even if it did, they'd still be vastly outclassed by the opposing forces, because there's orcs. Like, they can barely fight orcs because orcs are nigh immortal in fucking 40K.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wes, were you about to say something?
No, I have no words. I have no fucking words.
That's a first.
Yeah, there's a first for everything, motherfucker.
No, a lot of this shit, I mean, it's the same formula being repeated across multiple franchises. It's bound to take a lot out of you. That's why, I mean, I try to remain energetic while reading these, but it's just the same song over and over. But it's the same, or it's the same lyrics over and over across different music genres. It's the same shit. It goes on to say, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I wonder what music genre we're hearing this time.
I have no idea. Can't be death metal, because that would actually fit. Imagine pop music for Warhammer, K-pop specifically for Warhammer.
That would actually be funny. Like,
Yeah,
I can't even cringe. I would just be laughing the whole time. Just start hearing NSYNC.
You know what?
Dance music.
Yeah, that would be funny. Like they're fucking cleaving through armies of men with a chainsaw, and you just hear K-pop in the background, Hatsune Miku just blasting. Yeah, that's actually funny.
Vocaloid harmony. You know, it'd be way more entertaining than that time they did like a weird that they had a rap music for that Mortal Kombat 11 trailer, because that took me out of it so
It
fast.
sucked. That shit sucked. They should just do a remix of the original Mortal Kombat theme song and just call it a day.
You know what's funny? They did end up doing that in later game trailers, like right before, like right on like the last trailer right before release, but on their first trailer, they just put some random rap song on there, and it just, eesh. I think listening to K-pop while watching Space Marines cleave through monsters.
That would be funny. It says prolific Warhammer author Aaron Dembski Bowden broached the subject on a Reddit post 6 years ago, presumably in preparation for his novel Master of Mankind, which focuses on the Adeptus Custodes a lot. He was in talks with designers at Games Workshop about what he could and couldn't write in his The Horus Heresy book. There is no lore saying custodians are X, Y, or Z, because until very recently there was no custodian lore at all, he explains. Another lie. That's why I'd be fine with female custodians and the models would look badass. Anyone saying it breaks the lore is lying and or wrong, because we were actually in the meetings and sending the emails discussing the invention of said lore 6 years ago, when that discussion is predated by the original fucking Warhammer 40K, but whatever. There was no lore. Go ahead.
I said, yeah.
My God. Anyone saying it breaks the lore is lying and or wrong, because we were actually in the meetings and sending the emails discussing the invention of said lore. And there was literally nothing in the old lore that weighed comprehensively or at all either way, even though you just said they were referred to as the sons of nobles, but whatever. I guess sons means hermaphrodites, whatever.
Hermaphrodites there.
Believe me, not your lying eyes. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. I can think of reasons it would make sense. Of course you can. Everyone who's crazy can think of things that make sense in a world where nothing does. I can think of reasons it wouldn't, but it's a very minor point. Oh, it's very minor that you can. It's very minor that not only do you repel your entire core fan base, but that you fucking undo fucking decades of history with Warhammer 40K with this one decision that you can prove was never the original intent. It's very minor, guys. Fucking A.
So,
oh man. And it's funny how
minor,
even
you
though
have to rewrite your entire lore just to shove it in.
Here's the reason why I choose to cover things even if I'm not a fan of it, because I'm still sympathetic to them. Like, I've been seeing this coming down the pipeline for I don't even remember how long. Like, I guess the first taste of it was all new, all different Marvel. There was probably stuff before then, but that was my first taste. I remember vividly. And then for some reason, I knew this shit would trickle down into other franchises. Like, as soon as it hit urban fantasy novels, particularly Percy Jackson and the Olympians, I knew it was a wrap. Because if it could make it to novels,
absolutely.
Very few people were reading novels like back then, and very few still read them now. So if I can find it there, I knew it was only a matter of time before it was everywhere else. Like, even if I'm not a huge fan of 40K, I've seen it happen so many times elsewhere that I know what to look for. Like, I was always sympathetic to even Harry Potter fans whenever people fucked up their lore in the movies. The people that bothered me the most were the ones who, like, even though they were fans of a specific franchise, either didn't care if it happened to another or would defend the stupid changes of another franchise, even though
it was completely fucking valid to complain about. And then them same cocksuckers would complain when it
happened to them.
When it happened to theirs.
Yeah.
You remember the fucking? There's all these little political fucking memes, or like the egg, or the fucking the commie and the mutualists and all those others. Just like, look what this dude, look what they're doing to us, help! And the ant caps and the hoppa snakes said, "Yeah, we see what you cheered for. Go fuck yourselves."
Yeah.
It's that. It's literally that. It might as well be that. Like that's
No,
That's the kind of reaction you should give those types. Go fuck yourselves. You've cheered when you defended it happening to us. Fuck you.
you know, it always did bother me, like when, especially with comic books,
Mm-hmm.
like the weirder the shit got. Like, as like comic book series went on and the weirder shit got, you would still see people who read old and new comics, but still defended the new weird shit going on. Like, you know, Robin being, or no, Superboy being gay and all, like all that kind of stuff. It's like, what the?
I mean, they were
Reading,
becoming
you've read
compromised.
everything
Their
that
standards
and
were just
before.
starting to slip.
Like, I don't understand why, especially if you were invested into it long before I was invested, and I've been invested in like at least.
I mean, a lot
entertainment
of people are
related to
just really
comics
good at
for most
making
of
you
my life.
believe they cared. Because honestly, to be honest, like if you're not a big fan of Warhammer 40K, if you don't care about this change, it breaks so much. Like if you don't care about this change, you're just straight up not a fan. You need to reevaluate how big of a fan you are of this franchise. It's just that simple.
Exactly. There's no other way to say it. Yeah. Imagine if
That makes me think of how compromised are the fan bases then, if we're gonna have, if there's so many people like that.
Well, there's no way of knowing. Speaking of which,
that's the
I
trouble.
my bad. You can finish after I make this point, Wes, if you had something to say. But speaking of which, I just read the next line of the article. Like immediately after highlighting this change, they go on to say, "We're talking about toy soldiers here. No matter how much you try to wage a culture war on their behalf." Dembski Bowden also explained in another Reddit reply why, seeing as it's canonically possible, his book in the wider Custodes lore hasn't included any women before now. So like they're trying to downplay the significance of Warhammer 40K by saying, "Come on, guys, it's just some toy soldiers," just like they did with Star Wars. It's just wizards in space. Like it's just a mask. It's just what the fuck was what was after fucking Hogwarts Legacy? Fucking Starfield. It's just pronouns.
Starfield.
Yeah, it's just pronouns. Like it's ridiculous.
It's just pronouns. Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Did you remember your thought from earlier?
You don't know how compromised a fandom is, but imagine if how do I say it? Imagine if they tried. What's a good analogy from a popular game franchise that hasn't been? Imagine if they started injecting small amounts of the shit into the Zelda franchise, or try to reverse the roles and then peddle just small slivers of that critical bullshit in the game story.
No, speaking of Zelda, that reminds me of that other topic we covered a while back.
Oh yeah, Link is a gay icon. That article was terrible. That article was horrible.
That was fucking AIDS. That was just AIDS after fucking herpes. Like,
there's not much more of this article left. After we wrap it up, we can continue our conversation a little while because we're coming up on 2.5 hours.
All right.
So yeah, it says here, while his last sentence is worth dwelling on, we're talking about toy soldiers here. No matter how much you try to wage a culture war on their behalf, Dembski Bowden also explained in another Reddit reply why, seeing as it's canonically possible, his book and the wider Custodes lore hasn't included any women before now. Some of us had this discussion behind the scenes since lore-wise there was no reason why it wouldn't be possible. It came down to a former IP lord saying no because the minis are finished and they're all male. Not really. The reason this is what they're doing, right? Because it's possible, it means you should do it. No, the reason why the reason why you shouldn't do it is because that's not the will of the God Emperor King canonically. Or what's his official title? I know I'm fucking it up, but you know who I'm talking about. The Supreme.
I thought it was just called the God Emperor.
Yeah, the God Emperor. He has a full title, the Supreme God Emperor of Man or something. Some testosterone fueled title that I can't remember.
Emperor of Mankind.
Yeah, God Emperor of Mankind.
Or is it God Emperor of Mankind? It was
that
one,
works.
It was one of those two.
But anyway, it said like they're trying to justify why it's okay to completely butcher the lore by saying it's possible. So having women there is okay. It's like, no, like because there's a specific reason for it again. like they do everything they can to try and turn everything on its head for the sake of DEI, and it's just sickening. And then they show the picture of the box here. It says Games Workshop famously had a long period where everything mentioned in the lore had to have representation on the tabletop. Whether it was the weapons an Inquisitor picked up on their travels or a flying vehicle used to briefly transport the protagonist. If it didn't have a corresponding plastic toy to make money from, you couldn't include it. I dread to think how much this hamstrung the writer's creativity, but the Adeptus Custodes Codex proves that this time is truly over. Games Workshop isn't releasing any female custodian models. There's no upgrade sprue with female heads. In fact, there are no new models at all. All the company has done is add to the lore, expanding on it and making the well of inspiration deeper so that players can draw from it more liberally, pun intended. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. None of it does. It doesn't matter that custodians can far more easily be women than Space Marines. What the fuck does that mean?
What?
Okay, I'm not going to dwell on that too much. It doesn't matter that every single custodian is a bespoke Stradivarius violin tailored to exact personal specifications compared to the mass-produced factory line creating Space Marine after Space Marine. You've always been able to convert female custodians for your army because it's your army. You can still field an all-male force of custodians, and the model range encourages this. If you don't like the retcon, nothing has changed. Play with your toy soldiers however you want. But if you're arguing against female custodians and not for female Adeptus Mechanicus, I don't think lore accuracy is at the forefront of your mind. So wow.
Fucking wow.
So for the female Adeptus Mechanicus, I'm not sure about that. I'm pretty sure this person's being fucking disingenuous because there's probably not a lore. Absolutely. There probably isn't even a lore reason for why Adeptus Mechanicus makes no sense. Therefore, you can have them and have it not be lore breaking because there's not some fucking decision made by a monarch for a super soldier program. But whatever, they like to play games like that and be disingenuous and destroy everyone's culture and raise it to the fucking ground for their own enjoyment.
This is just...
Let's see what the audience thinks about all this.
It's absolutely disgusting behavior. Doesn't Henry Cavill play custodians? I don't know, actually. I never actually heard much about Henry Cavill's progress on the show.
I've only ever seen him next to like the blue Space Marine. And I don't know what particular brand of Space Marine that is, because I know there's different Space Marines that represent different cultures, but I don't know which one. I don't know if he plays the custodian. It's just weird that these people just get a kick out of destroying everyone's favorite pastimes. It's just kind of tiring, to be completely honest with you.
It's like they really have nothing else to do. They have no purpose in life outside of this.
I mean, that's what being an activist is. You're a professional bum. You're a professional ideologue. Essentially, they fill the exact same position as someone like a Karl Marx did. They do nothing. They mooch off everyone around them, and they make everyone's lives actively worse, while proclaiming that their ideas are the best ideas, despite having no fucking life experience to justify
Kropotkin,
that claim.
Kropotkin and Bakunin did the same thing, even though they hated Marx's guts. They called him Bakunin was hilariously not. If only he knew Karl Marx's blood ties through one of his grandmothers. He called Marx an asset of the ROTHSCHILD clan, and had used solid reasoning to back his assumption up. But he had no idea that Marx was even related to him.
Oh yeah, he's a trust fund baby. Yep. Oh yeah. Why is it that the most like fucking passionate activists are like they're born with like silver spoons up their ass like every time?
If you actually go back, all of the original like socialist ideologies that like Marxism, that or the utopian socialism before it, all those co-creators and pioneers were all silver spooners, trust fund babies, aristocrats, or career politicians. Every one of them, every fucking one of them. Karl Marx is related to the now deemed the dirty R word by the UN in that family line, and the Cohens through one of his grandmothers, by the way. Proudhon and Bakunin were politicians. The inventor of the word capitalist, Louis Blanc, he invented the word. He was a socialist, a career politician, and he used it for two different meanings. Juggled the two meanings definitions he made for capitalism back and forth. And because I've actually read a translation of those original works, and it was just fucking insane. You know, he advocated corporations, unironically, but my democracy and my workers' democracy would co-run it with the government, and some wild shit.
Really weird, dude. Like, before we wrap up here, I want to.
I love how people like to claim like ANCAPs. Like to project on ANCAPs and stuff, but you can't really say that in good faith if you've actually looked at the philosophizing that goes back for like millennia that actually led up to them. Like you get elements of precursors to praxeology and fucking Aristotle and Plato, and then you got Alfred V. Espinoz, and then you got a couple others, and you got a couple of mentions of the term and what it and like the 17th century before Alfred
we're going
V.
too
Espinoz.
far off the deep end into.
I'm just saying that you can't say that about them or the libertarian side, but you absolutely can say that about the socialists and all these critical theorists and the Nazis and the fascists that spawned from this shit. All the shit came from these types. It always has.
Oh yeah, that was the main point. Like all activists, well, not all of them, obviously. Like the civil rights leaders weren't fucking unemployed. They were active in their community, but it's very rare that you see like those types of activists go back to their lives once they achieve their goal. But anyway, to not go on another fucking tangent, I want to bring us back to the reason why we highlight things like this as they're going on in our entertainment, and it's to basically shine a light on all of the occurrences within it so that people can't gaslight you into oblivion. You see the articles that are being written, you see the type of language they use, and honestly, another main point I want to highlight is that pretty much the only solution at this point is not hoping for it to get better. Your two best options are to vote with your wallet and spend your money in places that don't hate you, and to create your own content. I'd rather everyone do that one, because there hasn't been a greater time to do it, especially with the mainstream facets of entertainment ritually shooting themselves in the foot at every turn. So like, if you're an artist, writer, you make movies, you want to make games, you want to write novels, comic books, there's no better time than now to do it. And that's pretty much it. Like, that's all I got for you guys. Like, go ahead
and write your own books.
I'm still trying to make my crossover story. A couple of them are almost done. But they're only going to be posted on like Wattpad and stuff because of IP bullshit. And I'm writing. I'm also. Oh my god,
that comment was crazy.
My Guardians of the Omniverse crossover stories are going to be They're only going to be uploaded on like Wattpad and a couple of the fan fiction oriented websites. Again, IP reasons, but in the main story they will be hinted at and suggested. And yeah, and I'm also finishing up the Guardian of the Omniverse arc, the first story arc, where the first franchise where the character Count Wesley actually creates the first AGI after trying to save his son Malcolm Xavier Savage after getting exploded in a battle, trying to save him from dying, and he just said, "Let me go. I'm tired of pain." And it goes in all sorts of shit. Thinking about what it's like losing your kid, attempting self-deletion multiple times as an immortal that can't, being there for what it's like to be there for your grandkid when your child's no longer able to be there for them. And I'd go into a lot of stories like that. I'm still not finished with that, but I'm gonna be finished with 2 crossover stories. And my Dragon voice type software, I'm using it. I'm going to start using it again after I clear my computer of data. I got like M disks, and I got a proper working disk reader. I had to put it together, from the parts instead of buying the disk readers I have in the past. I couldn't get my money back on them. I was so pissed. So I finally bit a bullet or two, and I got a working one. I'm archiving all my research papers, and I got some physics research papers. I actually want to open source to more people.
All right, man. We're coming up on 2 hours, 50 minutes. So I'm going to need you to wrap up your sign off, bro.
Yeah, I know. So I got that kind of stuff going for me. So yeah, take his advice. Write your own stories. Write your own material. And when you want to write non-fictional stuff, write it, work at it, have thorough but concise explanations everyone can get somewhat of a grasp on. And you do what you can with your means, and just don't stop working at it. My franchise is technically 20-something years in the making.
All right. Yeah, but that's all the topics we can cover. We were able to get 4 out of the way tonight because we just had some extra time, and we still went over, and that's my fault. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, don't forget to check out my links down in the description. Please, if there were any new viewers who liked what they saw, please subscribe. Please subscribe.
And
but yeah,
guys, but one last update. I'm gonna be uploading some videos pretty soon. I got a bunch finished finally, and we'll be uploading them real soon. And I got a fiction concept, another add-on to retrofuturism. It's called Carburetor Punk. If anyone wants to know about it, comment and ask or comment anywhere in my channel or here on Kaine Walker's channel to ask about it, and I'll reply when I can.
Yep, you heard the man. So links in the description. Oh, you got something to say? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that sounds about right.
So yeah, this has been episode 16 of the Monkey Paw, along with my co-hosts Wes and Soups, and this is us signing off, and we will see you all again next time. Peace.
Peace out, everybody.
Guys.